And we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 49 of Anime Club After Dark's WTF, a series where we talk about all the things that have been on our mind recently and answer your questions from Discord. I'm your host, Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight, we have our czar of source material, John.
What? We're starting?
Yeah, we're starting.
Oh.
We're here, bro.
Let me get out of my video game real fast.
Oh my god.
I was about to call you the czar of labor relations.
Why?
Because you're on strike.
Stop doxing me, bro.
You talk about it yourself.
You talk about it all the time on our WTFs.
No, I don't. You guys actually bring it up. I can show you the receipts on that.
Yo, I had to turn y'all down. Really? Are we that loud? Maybe that's your answer, John, because you wanted us to do an audio test.
I have no idea. I'm waiting for my the secretary to respond.
The secretary.
How do we
The
sound?
live stream to like.
Is it really that loud? Because it does not sound anywhere near that loud to me.
I think he might have a audio interface.
Oh, maybe that's why it sounds so loud to him. Anyway, we also have our Vitruvian centerpiece. All right, you got to explain this.
Look, I come in, I am the centerpiece, and I pose.
I don't
No
know what any
no
of that
one gets that,
means.
Shinoda.
You know what the Vitruvian Man is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the Leonardo da Vinci drawing.
Yes, and when I enter a room, I pose, therefore I am the Vitruvian centerpiece.
This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this reference doesn't make any sense.
It's not
to
a
me
reference, it's just something I do. You know what, move on. Hi, everyone.
either. Hi, Shinoda. Welcome in. Before we get into answering your questions from Discord, I do want to remind everyone to like this stream if you like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and join our Discord server as long as you are 18 years of age or older, and you can ask questions that will appear here during our WTFs as well. Leonardo da Vinci naked man, not Shinoda. Okay. I mean, listen, Natai isn't here, but Natai's seen Shinoda's bare ass on his bed before, so...
I wasn't naked. Was I naked?
You were close enough.
Yeah, close enough,
No,
yeah.
he only had his shirt off, and he was unbuckling his pants or something.
Listen, I wasn't there for this. I've only heard this secondhand, so I can only imagine how, like, traumatic it was for Natai.
He was just like half naked on the bed, and just like
Just walking in on
Hello,
Shinoda
Natai.
half naked on his bed, sprawled out like, draw me like one of your French girls, Natai.
has the rose petals following to the bed. Said a little ambiance for Natai.
To answer Jacob your question, yes, the music in our pre-roll is typically a little bit louder than the rest of our audio. I could make a new version of that with lower audio. I just haven't, but maybe I should.
What's up,
for the
classy
sake of
Ulysses?
everyone. Yes, hello. Welcome to the stream. Speaking of Class Ulysses, the first three questions we're going to answer are from him tonight. So let's get into that. The first one is, what is your favorite merch that you own? I'm assuming this can be any kind of merch. It doesn't have to be anime merch.
Ooh. You know what? For me, it's between.
I thought you were I thought you were about to like move and grab that Pokemon hoodie.
It's great, and no, it's not my favorite. Plus, it's like new. I don't have a solid judgment on it yet. This bag I have right here, I got it at Otakon, and it has so many different fucking pockets, and like on top of that, there's like pockets on the back, pockets on the inside, pockets.
It's like
in
an
the pockets.
interdimensional pocket thing.
Yeah, seriously, and like how big it is, it can hold a fucking what 8 liter, whatever. No, not 8 liter.
8 liters.
No, not
That'd
8 liter.
be giant.
That'd be giant. Yeah. 2 liter.
And
yeah. Basically, it can hold up to 8 pounds if I remember right, and like a pretty big bottle of booze, which I tested immediately.
Yes, I was with him when he did this. The very first thing he did was see if a giant bottle of, I think it was vodka, could fit in it.
Yeah. Just stuck the bitch in there, and I'm like, holy shit, this is amazing. And the straps are removable, so I can change them to whatever style they want. Typically, I have them going around my waist, so it's just hanging off my waist when I'm walking around. But I can move the straps around to make it into a backpack or however style, or put it across my shoulders. It's a wonderful product that I fucking love, and that's probably my favorite. Otherwise, it's Felix. Because he
Felix
hugs
body
me at
pillow.
night. Because he hugs me at night. But yeah, those are probably my favorite merch.
Okay.
How about you guys?
Well, I have two things. I can't show them because they're all the way over there near my messy bed, and I don't want to show people that. But my Miku Expo poster from 2016, because, you know, limited run. Miku. It was when it came over to Seattle. Pretty awesome. And probably the first Nendoroid I ever owned. It was gifted to me, actually, by my friend Charles. And it's like the original Miku Nendoroid. And I'm just like, I love that thing. It was the first
Shout
Nendoroid.
out Charles.
Yeah. Shout out to my friends who buy me figures.
Shout out to Terry, who tries to ruin those figures.
He tries to ruin all of your merch.
The cat likes to eat on my figures. She has ruined approximately hundreds of dollars worth of figures at this point.
Damn. So I actually have a couple of things I wanted. I brought show and tell.
Ooh.
The first thing that's definitely 100% actual merch I wanted to show off is very heavy, and it's a figure. It is...
It's a tree.
It is this.
Oh, yeah. From that one
This-
guy.
This
what's
is
his name?
the Holo from Spice Wolf. This is the wedding dress figure, but it is a custom made base by a guy named John Medios, who goes around to a bunch of different conventions around the country, and he makes a bunch of different custom bases for anime figures. So I mean, it's amazing. It's beautiful. It's very heavy. This thing is about 15 pounds, which I know is not very heavy in general, but for a figure, it's very heavy. So that's my answer for... It's also very unbalanced in how it weighs. Like, it's heavy on the bottom and the top, but the middle floats around a lot.
I will say, the quality on those figures are beyond fantastic. Like, some of the best figures I have ever seen. Because, like, you're not getting a single figure. You're getting a whole art piece, and it is next fucking level. Expensive, but very worth it.
They are expensive. This was $375.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, I know. But the build quality is great, and he also will give you a card to get in contact with them. If anything ever breaks, you can ship it back to him. He'll fix it and ship it back to you.
Oh wow, okay.
So that's really cool. If you ever see him at a convention, stop by his booth, talk to him for a while, ask him about the process for making these. He's very charismatic. He's very open to talking about the process behind making and finding these figures and turning them into these absolutely I mean, figures are already nice works of art, but he just makes them into absolutely phenomenal set pieces for your living room, bedroom, whatever. I have two other figure bases that he's made, one for 2B and another one for Shiro from not Spice Wolf, from No Game No Life.
No Game, No Life. Yeah.
The Shiro one's really nice too because it is it's on a chessboard that you can actually open up, and there's storage space underneath it. You can like put things in, like it's like a jewelry box.
Oh.
So it's practical too. So that's pretty cool. My second answer for this, which isn't necessarily merch, it's autographs, but the reason I like them is because of the memories behind them. So one of them, again, isn't really merch because it was free. It's my Otakon convention guide from 2018, the first time I went to Otakon. And while I was in DC for the convention, I actually ran into Yo Yoshinari from Studio Trigger outside the convention. And he saw that I had a Trigger shirt on, and he asked me what my favorite Trigger character was. This was just after Little Witch Academia had aired. And I adore that show. I still adore that show. So I said, Akko from Little Witch Academia. And he drew one for me.
Drew a little Akko.
So fucking cool.
He drew Akko in my convention guide. So that's actually really, really cool.
Hey, that's the guy in the tie cut off.
It is.
Yeah.
It is the guy in the tie cut off. But yeah, back in 2018, I met him outside the convention, and he drew Akko from, and he signed it. Yo Yoshinari right down there. And then
Chad.
the following year, I got a chance to meet Hiroyuki Imaishi, who's one of my absolute heroes in the anime industry, and he signed my Gridman art book that I have, and he also drew the antagonist from it.
Let's go.
So it's special. This kind of stuff is special to me because of the memories behind it. Not necessarily because it's like amazing merch, because if you go to these conventions that the people appear at, you can get their autograph. But it's
Right.
the personalized touch that I like.
So what
It
makes
was
it
also
special?
this is also when the story where I told you that Yo Yoshinari saw me carrying this and said, "Gridman sugoi." We spent like 10 minutes talking about the OG Gridman from the 90s. It's great. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right.
All right, so the
Everyone
next question
has
was
better and cooler merch than me, man. What the heck?
well, John, you actually have to go and be around people at conventions to get the good merch.
Oh no! Oh, jeez. What?
Ah, jeez, Rick.
Batman.
Oh yeah, I've seen
statue.
that. I think you've posted a picture of that Batman statue in our Discord server. That is really nice. If it's the one I'm thinking of.
You know what? My favorite merch is actually my James Shore Santa Claus collectible from the 90s. Is it Jim?
What?
Is it Jim Shore? No, I call him James. This is his official name. I don't. There's a whole like collection of ornaments, Christmas like ornaments, themed ornaments by some dude named Jim Shore.
Oh.
That's apparently like old biddies love them. So my wife loves them.
By the way, soon tells you to just 3D print merch like he does. Just ignore the both figures I've been working on are unfinished. All right. Next question, which also comes from Classy Ulysses. Who or what is your biggest inspiration?
Ooh.
That's a good question. I have thought about this for a long time for myself. This is gonna sound like a cop-out answer. Probably my mother.
No, I mean that's fair. Like your parents are your first ones that you look up to.
I think it's because when I was younger, she instilled a lot of discipline in me, and I respect her a great deal for that. She was definitely a very hands-on mother, but she wasn't an overbearing mother.
Honestly, I can say I don't have any inspirations.
Wow.
There's
Even
no one-
professional inspirations in your game design.
I mean, like, there's no one I aspire to be or I set as like my idol as my metric. I'm just like, people disappoint me continually, so everyone sucks. So what drives me is actually just hate.
Wow.
I'm
Spite and hate
inspired
to be better.
I'm inspired by my spite.
Okay, you know what? There's a lot of people that use that as a driving force, so it's not necessarily a bad answer. At least you're using it for constructive purposes, though. You're using it to better yourself and your lot in life.
I mean, I guess I'm doing it because I'm doing it in spite of people. That's why.
There you go. For me personally, I would have to say my little brother and sister. I keep on going because I want to be there for them and be better for them. So I strangely look up to them in a way as my guiding light. Yeah.
It's cool to have family like that, I think. And there's not
Again.
everyone that has that.
Everyone has really good answers that are like meaningful and deep, and here I am just stewing in hate.
Honestly, though, it's on brand for you. It really is.
I guess it is.
Especially if you're in our Discord server and you see how much he rants about shit that he hates. Also, I just want to say, I went and watched that scene that you linked from this failure frame.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's so awful.
It's
Dude,
so bad.
When I first saw that episode, that scene, I'm just like, ain't no way. I just saw them like not even animated, just took a JPEG and rotated it 90 degrees. I was like,
I
no
can
way.
do that. I can do that in DaVinci.
No way they really just did that. But they did. I'm like, oh wow.
And everyone caught them on that. Like no one even.
It looks so bad.
I've seen, since John pointed that out, I've actually seen a bunch of people on Twitter like calling out the anime studio, like, this looks like shit.
Yeah, like fuck in-betweens. I've never heard of those in my life, you know?
Yeah, in between animations, what is that? We don't need those. We don't need no damn in between animations here. What are you talking about?
It's just so bad, dude. And it's like, it's not like the source material is terrible. Like it's not the best, but it's not bad. But then here's the anime where it's like, what happened here? What's the point of watching this anime?
All right, I guess moving on to Classy's third question that he has for us this month. What's a show or movie that was ahead of its time?
Star Trek.
Literally, quite literally, yes, it was ahead of its time.
I'm not a Trekkie myself. Like I'm not Alex. I'm not a hardcore Trekkie, but like you've seen all the things they aired ahead of time, all the progressive things that they tried doing. Hell, even freaking cell phones. They basically forecasted that way before.
The dude who invented the cell phone was legit trying to create a communicator from Star Trek. That was his whole goal.
Yeah. So
That's
like
pretty funny.
Like honestly, when I first saw this question, the first thought that came to my head was like Star Trek. It was literally ahead of its time in terms of everything.
Yeah.
That's my answer. Sorry to steal it from you, Alex.
It was no. I was gonna say that too, but I have a couple of other ones in mind as well. I would say the Twilight Zone was way ahead of its time. I think a lot of those stories that were told in the original Twilight Zone are so timeless because they're morality stories about the human condition. And that's why people constantly go back to them, not just in TV, but in movies as well. I would say in terms of a show that was ahead of its time, showing that a TV show, a TV drama could be genuinely successful on a cable network instead of a broadcast network. Ronald D. Moore's remake of Battlestar Galactica. That was one of the first shows, because that was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and that was a cable channel that not everyone had access to, and that was one of the first, I don't know if it was the first, but it was one of the first like weekly dramas that was very successful on a cable network. And then another show that I point to is Arrested Development. That show came out at a time, that show was perfect for streaming.
Dude.
At a time way before streaming.
I love Arrested Development.
I've never seen it. What's it about?
It's about the Bluth family.
Yes.
And their insane escapades. And, like, it's a banana, Michael. How much could it possibly cost?
Oh, that's where that comes
$10?
from.
Yeah.
I love Lucille Bluth. R.I.P. to her, the actress. She's passed away now.
Yeah.
She was also Archer's mom. In
Mallory?
Archer. Mallory, yeah. That's the
what's her
same
name?
person. But she plays the mom in Arrested Development, and I love Arrested Development. Like, the cutaway gags are so funny. Like when the the
Jessica Walter.
The Never Nudes. There are dozens of us, dozens. And he's like, he gets a license plate, Tobias Funke. It's like a new start, and it says anus tart. Or when Lucille is like, I love all my children equally, and then cuts to the next one. I don't care for Job.
Would you not agree, though, John, that show was perfect for streaming before streaming was a thing?
I think that show is just like underrated in general until you get to the last couple seasons. It's a kind of a huge mess, but
Yeah.
I think it's really good for streaming because you can consume it in one go. I think that's what really led to its cult following, because it's such a erratic, out of there show, and you can't really just like watch an episode of it and just be like, oh, that seems kind of interesting. It's like, no, nothing makes any sense, and even if you watch it from the beginning, nothing makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's
But it is a
just-
very underrated show.
Oh, I love Arrested Development.
You know, another TV show. I'm sorry if I'm taking everyone's answers here, but another one that comes to mind for me is HBO's Rome. If anyone ever saw that, it got canceled like right when they were developing the second season, so they got like a really reduced second season, and they had to rush to wrap up a bunch of storylines. That show walked so that Game of Thrones could run. They took a lot of stuff that they learned during the production of that show in the early 2000s and applied it to Game of Thrones. And that's why Game of Thrones in its first couple of seasons looks so good. It's written so succinctly. It took a bunch of stuff that they learned from that and showed that you can make big budget television.
It's unfortunate they couldn't learn from Lord of the Rings in terms of lighting, though.
Yeah. There's so much bad lighting in modern Hollywood productions. It's unbelievable.
Well, my answer is They Live by John Carpenter.
Yes.
Yes! I think it was ahead of its time, or rather, I should say, it was predicting the future about unrestrained capitalism. And I'm like, hey, look, we live in this now. This is a movie that came out in the 70s? 80s?
I think They Live was 82. Let me look it up real quick, but I think it's 82.
I don't remember when They Live came out. 1988.
88. I was wrong.
Yeah. But it's based on a short story from 1963, but the central theme is basically like, a dude finds some glasses and he sees that there's aliens controlling the world, where everything that you're seeing is just like obey, consume, make kids. Reproduce, yeah. It's basically like, if you think about how commercialized everything's become, in the last it's been 40 years since that movie. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Nearly 40 years since that movie, but everything that movie warns about and that story warns about has happened. Like, I'm not sure how much people pick up on how much we're being advertised every day to by like just scrolling through YouTube Shorts or TikTok, where people just random like Amazon gadgets you need in your home today. And it's just like, what is this video? It's like, it's entertaining to see like, oh, there's some crazy stuff on Amazon. However, what is the core part of this video? Sell you random shit on Amazon you don't need. It is literally consume.
It's just an ad, yeah.
Yeah. And there's plenty of people who do that stuff where it's like, today I'm trying out things that I bought from Temu. And YouTube's been doing a better job of showing, like, if it has a paid promotion inside of its short or if it's a video, it has to say it. It will have a little pop-up that says, this includes a paid promotion.
Which, that's funny that you mentioned that, because I watch YouTube on desktop a lot more than I do on my phone, mostly because when I'm working, I'm constantly in front of a computer. So I'll have it up and I'll watch through stuff that's on my recommended feed that comes up. And if it has one of those paid promotions and I put my mouse over it, that little thing comes up. And if I accidentally click that thing so many times, and it brings you to like a help page for whatever YouTube's policies are regarding that. It's like, I do it every single time.
And on some videos where it's like, if it doesn't include a paid promotion, but you are promoting a product that, for example, you sell, it'll have a shop button there, just like TikTok Shop. Same thing.
Yeah,
it's all commercialized, all geared towards like, this is why these websites or apps have become so successful, is because they know how to monetize the crap out of them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we don't
monetization
need
has
just
become
ad money now.
crazy.
Now we're getting the big bucks for like selling stuff.
Yeah,
And
merch.
it's kind of just a. Anyway, yeah, They Live is it was 40 years ago. Yet we're unrestrained capitalism. Here we are. Everything that's happened there it's happening in real life.
Well, someone took a look at it and was like, "Wow, these are some great ideas."
Well, what was crazier was that it's based on a short story from the 60s. They knew about this in the 60s, and we've done nothing to combat it, except try to raise awareness. But it's like, how many people out there understand that there's a paid promotion in here? They're being advertised to, but they just don't care. Right, because it's kind of just like, oh, the other day, like literally just yesterday, me and my friends were just playing. They were playing a different game than I was playing, but I just went, oh, and then my other friend went, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, and he's like, get in the zone, and I'm like, Auto Zone, and it's like these.
You've been Pavloved.
I've been Pavloved by these TV jingles for the advertisements for these companies that are still around today. Because I watched TV as a kid, and they just would come on constantly. Like that, the advertisements on TVs were not a thing back in the 60s, not as much as they were today, to this day. But it's like, it's crazy how much advertising gets done to us as we grow up in America. Like, this is the capital of capitalism is in America, I would say, because we're all about consuming and having much more than we need. And not reusing and stuff.
John, if you go back and watch those old TV shows, like especially from the early days of television in the late 50s and early 60s, anytime they cut away to a commercial, which wasn't very often back then, they would always say, "And now a word from our sponsor." That's because there was only one advertisement in each programming block.
Yeah, and the ads that they ran back there, it's like they had minutes to do stuff. Like, I have 2 minutes to show you why you should buy this Hoover vacuum cleaner,
or very likely cigarettes,
or cigarettes.
Back then.
9 out of 10 doctors recommend Camel. I remember those cigarette ads. God, I remember the 90s.
Yeah.
Remember Camel Joe? He was so cool, dude. He had sunglasses. He was so cool, man. He had a jet.
You could look cool just like Camel Joe.
Yeah. Oh God, dude. I can't believe that was allowed back then.
Another reason you should watch They Live, besides the fact that it's a really good movie, is it has one of the best fight scenes in cinema history in it between Rowdy Roddy Piper and Keith David.
Ooh.
Also, just watch it because Keith fucking David is in the movie and he's awesome. Another movie like that really predicted the world we live in that I don't think gets enough credit anymore is the movie Network, if anyone's ever seen that.
Network.
Have you ever seen that scene where the guy is screaming at the television, "I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take this anymore"? That's where it comes from.
I have seen that, but I didn't know that's where they came from.
That's the movie that it comes from.
I haven't seen the movie.
1976. Jeez.
Yeah, and it predicted
is,
a lot about how network television became in the 90s and early 2000s.
Well, it's just like how was it Bruce Willis in this movie? I think it was Bruce Willis, or maybe it was Jason Statham. It was Surrogates. So this is a movie
starring Faye Dunaway, William Holden, Peter Finch, Robert Duvall.
Let me.
You're talking about Network.
Yeah, he's talking about Network. I'm talking about Surrogates. It was
Surrogates. Hold on.
I'm thinking of something else. Surrogates movie.
It's like he keeps listing off these names. Like these are all people who were in Network. Surely they weren't in the same movie.
Yeah, Bruce.
It was Bruce Willis. I was right. It was Bruce Willis. So
I've heard of this movie, but I've never seen it.
This is a movie that came out in 2009. Basically, in the future, they can rent out avatars, and everyone likes to pretend that they're their avatars instead of themselves in real life.
Yeah,
and it really just like predicted the whole catfishing thing that we have nowadays, or not just the catfishing thing, but the amount of attention people have to like pretending they're beautiful and they're perfect and stuff online, like with all the filters and all the deep faking AI stuff that we have now, the tools that we have
like
at our
Instagram
disposal.
filters.
Yeah, like all that. Like becoming an idealized version of yourself is basically what Surrogates is about, you know?
Okay.
Except it's like, instead of being like online avatars, though, they would rent out real people bodies and pretend they were that real person, but it's just like everyone is a surrogate because people would just sell their bodies like that. That one was a little bit. I'd say because it was in 2009. It's like it kind of predicted the future. It certainly was like fearful of the net in the future, but. So they turned VR chat. Yes,
chat into
they,
a movie.
Actually,
surrogates.
basically.
It predicted VR chat perfectly. That is completely true, Jacob.
Furries and all.
I mean, maybe.
I mean,
yeah, sure. Why not?
you saw a lot of people getting down and busy in that movie, so
Oh,
I remember watching it in 2009. I don't remember very much about the movie other than like, oh, it's a movie about internet bad. Go touch grass.
not wrong. Turns out.
Man, there's some really good old movies y'all should really check out.
Yeah,
saying.
anything. John Carpenter movies are amazing. I love John Carpenter.
Well, most John Carpenter movies are amazing.
Okay,
He's had
yeah.
some duds. Ghost of Mars is terrible.
I haven't seen that one.
It's awful.
I've only seen the good ones. So.
Also, I mean, the original Halloween is fantastic. All right,
The
next
old
question
Cyberpunk
comes from
TTPR. Wait. Was Cyberpunk an actual tabletop RPG before it?
Yeah,
was
bro.
Like,
yes,
Yeah, that's where it came from.
Yep.
I did not know that.
yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I
what's
think
his
it was
name?
first came out in like the early '80s. I think.
What?
I don't remember when Mike made it.
I
You
want
call
to
him
say it
Mike
was
like
the
you
early
know
'80s,
him.
but
Oh
I
my
could
God.
be wrong.
Well, Mike Pondsmith. He's famous for creating Cyberpunk 2077. Let's see.
Something for season. Legit, there's lore that there's body mods that make you look like an animal. Something for season 2, perchance.
1988.
88, same year that They Live came out. Man, 88 was a really good year for like dystopian fiction, I guess.
Those were the times.
All right, next question comes from New Vegas Savior. What are your favorite dipping sauces?
Well, it depends on what I'm dipping, but generally, honey musty goes with everything. You know, it says honey musty for my chicken tendies. You know. No, but actually, like, I love honey mustard. Like, I don't know when I started. I remember. So, before I ever knew what Red Robin's was, right? I was not a fan of any type of mustard. I hated mustard. And I remember going to Red Robin's for the first time, and they're like, you can have all these different sauces. And I'm just like, I just use ketchup, you know? Leery about using anything else but ketchup or ranch. And it's especially if they're like honey mustard. I'm like, what is honey mustard? Like, I don't like regular mustard. Why would I like this? And ever since that day at Red Robin's when I had honey mustard with my fries, it was over, bro. I was like, anytime, I was like, I want to try every type of honey mustard there is now to search for the best.
You had a life-changing experience.
It made me like
honey
mustard.
mustard is, yeah.
Now I love actual mustard too. Now I like Grey Poupon.
Oh god,
Some Dijon.
Grey Poupon is so good.
Some Dijon mustard. Oh,
Grey Poupon is so fucking good. It's expensive, but it's good.
I will say, I prefer the fancy mustards that you gotta raise your pinky for rather than the old mustard that you just squeeze out of a bottle. Like, give me actual good mustard. I'll pay an extra couple bucks, sure.
I don't know. It depends. So if I'm getting like a ballpark Frank, I don't mind the Heinz like squirt mustard. Like it's whatever, you know. Or the is it Frank's or Franz? I think it's Frank's.
Frank's.
Right? Yeah, the other mustard brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a squirt of the Frank's with my ballpark dog. That's fine. Like,
My personal. This is gonna sound really weird because this is thought of more as a salad dressing than a dipping sauce. But Thousand Island. I love that shit. I don't know why I do.
so
but
you
I
like
love it.
ketchup and mayonnaise combined? Is
I
that not what?
guess.
Oh wait, Thousand Island is
No,
ketchup, mayonnaise, and sweet relish, I believe.
I have no idea what's in it. I just know I like it. Sometimes when you find a food you like, it's best not to ask what's in it.
That's fine. I mean, Thousand Island's not bad. You can put it on fries and stuff.
Yeah.
Put any type of sauce on fries.
I
Really,
don't.
But
I see. Here's the thing, though. I feel like if you got to put anything on fries except salt, it's not a good fry.
well, my
I
all-time
don't know
favorite
about
dipping sauce is like it's Asian. We just call it funzu. It just means like pepper sauce. I think the internet collectively knows it as the crack sauce. Yeah,
Is it bad that I know what you mean when you said that?
Maybe not. I mean, it was pretty popularized with a lot of people on the internet like a couple years ago, where it's like, oh man, you got to try this new Asian sauce. We call it the crack sauce. You know, it's like jail, is how you would say it in Lao, but it's basically like fish sauce, peppers, garlic, salt, MSG. It's a very simple dish to make, simple sauce to make, but it's delicious. I love eating it with like steak and stuff. Chicken, it's really good on chicken.
All right.
For me personally, it's, as with John, probably honey mustard, or depending on what I'm eating, sweet heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't use dipping sauces very often, especially with meat. I feel like meat should taste like meat.
I'm gonna say something heretical here. I love steak. All right, do not crucify me.
Oh,
You
Everyone
like
out
A1 steak
there.
sauce?
He's
No.
about to say ketchup.
I like A1 steak sauce.
Yeah, I know.
Do not crucify me. I can cook a good ribeye, and I don't have to have any sauces when I cook some steaks. However, if I'm eating a really bad steak, like one from like Sherry's or Denny's or something, I don't mind having A1, to be honest. If I have a bad steak at a restaurant, I will use sauces, right? If you have a good, well-seasoned steak, I don't need it, but I'm just saying, the actual A1 sauce, though, is not that bad.
Bro,
You know,
if I'm
one
getting a
time-
bad steak, I'm sending that shit back to the kitchen. I'm like, I'm getting something else.
There's nothing I can do to improve you not being able to how to cook a steak. The most simplest thing to cook. Throw meat on fire. Add salt
Yeah.
and pepper. That's all you do. It's
Yeah.
so simple.
Then cook to taste. That's it.
Yeah, Worcestershire is really good, too.
Yeah.
I think Worcestershire is like... I think that's what A1 sauce is. It's just Worcestershire.
Well, there's a little
Well,
more to it than that, but
Yeah.
I like how everyone always points to the fact that A1 steak sauce was invented during the U.S. Civil War, and there's that meme that goes around. It's like, you know what the U.S. needed during the middle of the Civil War? A good steak sauce.
I mean, I'd be pretty happy with a good steak sauce.
I hate to burst everyone's bubble with this meme. A1 was invented in England.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I swear A1 is just Worcestershire with extra black pepper. I swear to God.
I think that's what it is. I think there may be a little more to it than that, but it's
I don't think
basically what it
there's-
is.
It's just Worcestershire with extra black peppercorns.
I do know one time years ago, my dad made this special marinade. We've never done it since. But he made it with A1 steak sauce, teriyaki sauce, and just a dash of cayenne pepper. And he like mixed it all together and then marinated steak in that overnight to cook it. Actually, it was really good. It's like a teriyaki steak. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that sounds pretty tasty.
Yeah. Next question also comes from New Vegas Savior. If you guys ever have a killed dozer moment, what vehicle would you use?
Garbage truck.
Oh, this man's locked in and ready to go. You already knew. You didn't have to think about that at all.
Because it's way off the ground. It's fucking heavy. It's got hydraulics in it to do stuff. It's fucking heavily fortified with a bunch of steel around it already. Like, there's not much you have to do to a garbage truck.
I'm going to go all out and say an M1 Abrams tank.
That's unfair. Nah.
That's not fair,
you gotta,
dude.
You gotta
Look,
you
if
gotta
I'm going to
make
have a
vehicle-
kill dozer... No. If I'm going to have a kill dozer moment, I'm going to go all out, and I'm going to find an M1 Abrams that's fully loaded and ready to go, and I'm going to cause some chaos.
That's not what a killdozer moment is, though. Like, you gotta make the vehicle yourself.
No.
Like, you gotta modify a vehicle to make it a killdozer. You can't just
No.
take an M1 Abrams. That's being cheap. Don't bullshit this, Alex. Come on.
No. That is you fundamentally misunderstand what a killdozer moment is. A killdozer moment is when a reasonable man is forced to do unreasonable things. Has nothing to do with the vehicle.
We're talking about the vehicle, though.
So-
like, that's what the question's about.
There is a story about a guy who bought a tank from Russia. I believe it's a decommissioned tank now. But I think it was here in the U.S. or something.
Are you talking about FPS Russia?
No. So some dude
God, that's a
as,
name I haven't heard
as
in a while.
protest. So the city wouldn't let him do something with land that he owned because it was so tiny. They're like, yeah, we're not going to let you develop anything on this land, but we'll buy it back for like dirt cheap rates if you don't want to sell it to us. And he's like, no, fuck you. So he went and bought a decommissioned tank and pointed the barrel of the tank at the city, like City Hall or something.
He's like, fuck you.
Yeah, it might have been here. I think maybe it was in over in Britain or something. Someone did something I think it was over in Britain, actually. Someone did something like that, and I'm just like, dude, that's hilarious. So you could buy a tank to prove your point, to have a Killdozer moment.
He was a reasonable person forced to do an unreasonable thing. It happens.
Yeah. But I'd use a garbage truck because it's already fortified. I don't have to do too much. Load up the back with a bunch of like thermite or some tannite or some shit. I don't know. Please, CIA, I do not know how to make C4 or any thermite or anything like that. Please take me off the list already. I hate waiting that extra 5 days.
Yeah, Alex, he used the cement from one of the guys who scorned. I thought I said scammed at first. Scorned him and commented on how bad it was in his recordings. You have to build it for yourself. I disagree, because he didn't build the bulldozer himself. He didn't build it from scratch. He just added stuff. He just added stuff to it. I would modify my M1 Abrams tank. I would add extra armor to it.
You know what? I would get one of those. I forgot what the service is called. The people who pick up money from like various places, grocery stores, like, and like all that. Armored trucks. Yes, yeah. Yes. Thank you. I would get an armored truck. Those aren't too bad in terms of finding them. Get one of those and then modify it from there.
They don't They don't have armor on the bottom of those though. They could just deploy a.
You can add armor.
You can add the armor. That's what I'm saying.
And
lift
only
it up, add armor.
I believe only the back is actually fortified. The front should not be too fortified. You could punch through the doors with like rifles in the front, not in the back though, because the point of the entire truck is that you stay in the back, and anyone walks through that door who's not part of your security form, you light up.
That's not a bad choice though.
I feel like it works.
It's very mobile.
Yeah.
I imagine imagine an armored truck like that does not require.
But I feel like you need to have the big, like, how big your vehicle is to send the point, right? Like a garbage truck is giant. You see that thing armored up, fucking barreling towards City Hall, they'd be freaking the fuck out. You get an armored truck, it's just kind of like it's a Humvee. It's just basically a fucking Humvee, and it's like
they don't know you don't have a bomb in the back.
They don't, but what looks scarier, an armored, souped-up fucking dump truck or a fucking armored Abrams whatever thing tank?
Oh, have you ever seen those giant dump trucks that they have at the construction sites or at like the strip mines that they do, like the giant ones?
Yeah.
Maybe you should use that because that thing's the size of a building already.
I don't know how you would navigate around the city with that though.
No, you don't navigate around the city. You just drive straight over it. Yeah. There's no navigating around the city in one of those things.
Yeah, you don't worry about navigation with killdozers.
We're spending way too much time talking about making a killdozer tank.
It's male fantasy.
Listen, all I'm saying is killdozer did nothing wrong. Moving on.
Why is there a collective male fantasy of society breaking down or just the rules being thrown out the window and them being able to finally just do whatever they need to do to survive? Why is that a male fantasy for a lot of people?
I don't know, but it is. I don't know, but it really, really is. Killdozer did nothing wrong. Next question comes from Based.
Revan.
Listen, Killdozer was Based. That's all I'm saying. Next question comes from New Vegas Savior. If you could, which creepypasta would you make into a movie, game, book, comic, etc.?
What creepypasta would I make into a movie, game, book, comic, etc.? Trying to think of. I have so many SCPs that I'd like to see in movie form.
You could just say SCP in general because that's like one big creepypasta.
Yeah, but I'm trying to think of other creepypastas where I'm like, oh, that one really freaked me out.
I have one from a game that I think could actually work as like a movie or show. Ben
Okay.
Drowned.
Oh yeah. Ben Drowned. That's another one of those.
I feel like that could work as like a really good thriller, like movie.
Yeah, but like the spirit of a kid getting trapped in a freaking N64 cartridge, like it's kind of dumb, heavily modified.
I don't know,
Though,
I feel like that concept could work though.
yeah, I'm just trying to think of like creepypastas that I think would be good as a movie though. I can't.
Russian sleep experiment.
Is that a creepypasta? That wasn't a real thing?
No, it was not a real thing, John.
I'm kidding. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what they want you to think, man.
Have there been people that have been tortured in that way? Yes.
Listen,
But
MK
was it an
Ultra
actual-
was real, okay?
The
Left-right game.
hell is
Pen
left
Pals
right
one of my
game?
favorite.
I've
I don't know
never
what
heard of
I don't know what these creepypastas are.
that.
Oh. Wow, I'm trying to think.
Now, if we like expand the definition of a creepypasta to include things like analog horror, I have some ideas there. I feel like the Backrooms. In fact, we'll find out really soon whether the Backrooms makes a good movie because A24 is making one. Apparently, I am cooler than you guys. Listen, shut up.
Oh, you know what? The Lavender Town Syndrome creepypasta. I would like to see that as a movie. That'd be cool.
That's not bad. That's not a bad choice. I feel like SCP though would make like a great, because you could make a genuinely good story based around like the SCP Foundation. Not just one particular SCP, but multiple SCPs, and you just follow like the main character would be someone who works for the SCP Foundation.
The main character should be Dr. Bright. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. John?
Do you have any other suggestions besides SCP, John? You're looking up. You're looking. Up
I'm looking at all the
creepypastas right now.
SCP stuff, and I'm like, nah. And I'm looking at all these other creepypastas, and I'm just like, nah. Jeff the Killer, weak. That one sucked. Momo sucked. The Rake, the Rake is kind of cool. I did like the Rake. Slenderman sucks. Siren Head, I forgot about Siren Head. I think that'd be cool. But I mean, it
Don't
has
worry.
games
The
already.
creator wants you to forget about Siren Head too.
Candle Cove.
Oh, the
that's a
stairs in
good
the
one.
woods. Yeah.
I haven't thought of that in a long time.
Remember when the Backrooms was just about being in an endless liminal space? Beverage Farm remembers. Listen, the crazy thing about analog horror and stuff like creepypastas is the more you actually explore them and explain them, the less scary they are.
The more silly they are.
Like one of my favorite analog horrors going right now is the Mandela Catalog, and I love it. But the more it keeps getting explained, the less I'm interested in it because it's lost its mystique.
Well, because part of the fear of the unknown, right? When
Yeah.
you're talking about horror, the less you know, the better, because the best thing is to let my creative mind get creative and scare the fuck out of me.
That's the great thing about psychological horror and why you should never explain stuff in psychological horror. The reason it works is because it's part of that the thing in the back of your mind that sets off your fight or flight response, the fear of the unknown, the fear of the unknowable. Just don't explain it. It's okay.
Yeah.
My answer would just have to be SCP, just the entire SCP universe, and just like if I could just have a bunch of SCP movies, I'd love that.
Listen,
All right.
listen, Secretary, I love Mandela Catalog too, but the more it keeps getting explained, the less I like it. All right.
Speaking of Secretary.
Speaking of the Secretary, the last question we're going to answer on this WTF comes from her. If you could safely eat any inedible object, what would it be?
Forbidden, what's it called? Forbidden juice fruit.
Forbidden juice fruit?
The
What?
Tide Pods.
Oh.
I was gonna say like uranium-233, but all right.
Ooh, spicy.
Yeah,
Listen, it's got enough calories to last me a lifetime.
exactly. I actually thought about this when I first read it, and I'm going to say plastic. Because, number one, you could feed a lot of people with it. And number two, I'm cleaning up the earth when I eat it. and turning it into compost.
Hey, buddy, don't worry. You already are eating it.
Yeah, I
You have
already am
plenty
eating
of
plastic.
it.
Already microplastics.
All
and
of us
everything.
are.
Let me rephrase: safely eat plastics and turn it into compost.
You know, there's a mushroom that they discovered, or they were able to create, or something that eats like styrofoam.
I've
help
heard
break down
about this.
microplastics.
Yeah.
I've heard of it feeds off of like plastics and microplastics, yeah. And it
Did
can
you
actually
see the-
grow. It can grow inside blocks of plastic.
Did you see the mushroom that eats radiation?
No.
Yeah,
I
that's
haven't
the
heard
thing.
about this.
It's a thing.
I wonder how.
Damn.
I wonder what that mushroom tastes like. Pure
Zesty.
10,000 calories of energy.
I don't know, but
Listen, science, bitches. If you need
science
someone
finds a way.
If you need someone who will for volunteers to eat radioactive mushrooms, I will do it.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, that is all the questions from our Discord server we're going to be answering on this WTF. And now I'm going to transition to something that is also about food, because I have acquired some new foodstuffs, and I'm going to taste them live for the first time here on
Let's
this WTF.
go. All right. What do you got?
Also, speaking of being advertised to, John.
Oh god.
Now, I do want to point out we're not sponsored by any of these things I'm about to eat. I promise. But I mentioned this in our Discord server about, I want to say, a month and a half, 2 months ago, when it was first announced, and I have acquired it. I have acquired the Oreo Coca-Cola.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck? Oh, my God. He found it.
And I have acquired the Coca-Cola Oreos.
Oh, Jesus Christ. My wife was like, babe, they released this Oreo thing. We got to try it. I'm like, I don't want to. It sounds like a bad fucking time.
Well,
gonna
we're
do
gonna
it
find
because
out.
it's weird, but I feel like Coke flavored Oreos probably not a terrible idea, but Oreo flavored Coke, I don't know. Have you ever? Because
Nasty.
one of the
We'll find
worst
out.
things, combinations I've ever had to do in my life is like if I ate chocolate but I only had Coke to wash it down with. It's like disgusting. I hate it. So I don't know why they would take Oreo Coke or Oreo flavored Coke and make it a thing, because eating chocolate with Coke is bad already. And again, I love Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, please sponsor us.
Yeah.
I will
would like to
sell
point
out
out-
so quickly for Coca-Cola.
The soda is a zero sugar soda, so also
Are they all zero
I-
sugar, or do they have a normal one as well?
I haven't found one that isn't zero sugar, so I guess they only make this one, and it is sweetened with sucralose.
Okay.
So yeah.
Pop it
Also,
up.
I have two other things I'm going to try. So if you guys know on the podcast, you've probably seen it before. I really like Ghost Energy drink a lot. They also have a hydration drink, which is really good. They are also apparently now in the business of making cereal.
Ew.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Okay.
So they have a marshmallow one, which is apparently like Lucky Charms, and a peanut butter one. So I'm gonna
It's
try
gotta be
those
white
too.
labeled, bro. There's no way they make that.
I don't know. They were buy one get one in the grocery store, so that's a big part of the reason why I got them to try them.
Well, that's not a. That tells me a lot about the cereal quality. Then, like we tried the Wendy's. What the fuck? No, what was it? Wednesday.
These balls drag around your face.
The hell is
The-
Wednesdays?
The Wednesday cereal from Kellogg's.
I have no idea.
From Adam's Family.
Does it have caffeine? No, the cereal does not have caffeine in it. It has a lot of protein in it, though.
I don't think he's talking about the. Well, he might be talking about the
No,
cereal,
he's talking
actually.
about the.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
he's talking about Ghost, because Ghost is an energy drink.
Yeah, actually.
No, but
no.
Kellogg's made a Wednesday themed cereal, and it is just absolutely hot garbage. I tried it and I was like, this is the worst I've ever had in my life. It's supposed to be cookies and cream. Does not taste like cookies and cream. Now it's a subpar cereal, and I threw it away.
Yeah, there's no caffeine in either of these. There's a lot of protein. There's very little sugar, and there is a ton of potassium for some reason. I have no idea why. Which should I try first? Should I try the Oreo and Coke stuff or the Ghost?
Well, obviously the Oreo and Coke stuff first.
Okay, all right. All right, so
So that
I'm
way,
gonna
when
try
you
the
have it
cookies.
open, you'll only have that to like wash it down with. So it'll be
Oh no,
a terrible.
no!
time.
In case it's really bad, I'm prepared.
Dang.
Man is ready.
and in case it's really bad, I'm very prepared.
Oh,
Oh my
man's
God.
ready.
I'll try the cookies first.
All right, I'm excited.
Also, I do want to
No,
point out they
you gotta
maybe
try the drink first because, like, what did I say about or eating chocolate and then drinking Coke? You gotta try the
Alright.
drink first.
All right,
It's
fair
gonna
enough,
be a
fair
bad
enough.
time the other way around.
All right, I'll try the Coke first, sure. Also, I'm glad they come in the little tiny cans, the 7.5 ounce cans, because it's good for trying stuff.
I mean, I don't
Alright,
want to
here
buy
we-
a whole case of that though. If they sell it in the 20 ounce plastic bottles, I'll probably buy one of that.
They do. They also sell it in that too.
Okay.
I think they sell it in the 20 ounce and the 16.9 ounce ones as well. So here we go, bottoms up.
All right, good luck.
You didn't even do a sniff test first.
He doesn't need it.
You gotta smell what the Coke smells like.
It smells like Coke. It tastes exactly like Oreos, though. It tastes like Oreo cream.
Is it
It tastes exactly like Oreo cream.
Really?
Yeah, the
It does.
Beetlejuice soda was gross.
It actually, this is
hell is
actually pretty decent, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
I'll probably be shitting my brains out later since it's got sucralose in it.
What's the Beetlejuice soda?
It was supposed to be like a green caramel apple or something, but it doesn't taste like green caramel apple at all.
Yeah, if you like Oreo like cream, you'll probably like this. It tastes exactly like Oreo cream. I'm shocked.
Well,
All
I'm gonna
right.
go to the store after the stream, so I guess I'll try it. All right.
Yeah.
Now
All
we
right,
can
now the
try the
cookies.
actual Oreos.
Now, I did drop this before we started, so some of these cookies are broken. But
That's
I'm gonna
fine.
try it.
Do you want to
I'm gonna get a
rinse your mouth out
non-broken
first?
Oh yeah, I probably should.
Yeah.
Good call.
That's right. Don't cross contaminate. We're professionals on this podcast.
Look,
All right.
as a fat ass, I know I am. I got to taste each thing individually.
There's two different cookies part of this. So I've been told that the black one is like the regular Oreo cookie. The red one is one of their vanilla cookies.
Oh.
So there we go.
I wonder if it's gonna be like vanilla Coke flavored.
Maybe. Considering that's the vanilla one, yeah, it might be.
It tastes like vanilla Coke.
Oh. That's like the worst Coke. I hate vanilla Coke.
Yeah, seriously.
It's sweeter than your regular Oreo too. Holy shit. Oh my god, that's so sweet.
I
Fuck.
wouldn't enjoy that. Yeah.
It tastes like twice as sweet as a regular Oreo cookie. It's not like super bad. I was expecting it to be far worse, but it tastes like vanilla Coke.
I just like want one cookie and one of the drinks. So if you could just like
Just
show
ship
it
it
here.
to him.
just ship
Here.
it to me. Yeah, just throw it across state lines. I'll catch it. Don't worry about that.
In fact, you know what? It's so not bad.
He's gonna have another. Oh,
Wow. Diabetes is coming for him.
diabetes. Wilfred Brimley?
Oh, good question, actually.
Does it taste like modern Coke or OG recipe? Probably.
It tastes like modern vanilla Coke.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like the 90s vanilla Coke. Vanilla Coke in the 90s just tasted better. I have no idea why.
They changed recipes. That's why.
They must have. All right. Now, for the gamble of the century, energy drink cereal. Wash my mouth out again.
Where's your milk?
You know, before I had that Wednesday cereal, I'd be like, "How could you fuck up cereal?" But now I understand people. Can't
Now you
fuck up
understand
cereal.
exactly how you can fuck up cereal.
Like,
gonna
especially
try
because it was from like Kellogg's. I'm like, Kellogg's, bro. Like, you got Tony the Tiger on your side, man. Like, who made this?
All right, I'm gonna try the peanut butter one first.
Alex,
Where's
where's your milk?
I don't have any milk with me.
What?
I mean, I have milk in the house, but I'm not gonna make a whole bowl of cereal.
No Colombian
just-
nose candy
Also,
cookies. No.
there's not that much in this box.
You're just raw dogging the cereal like that?
Yes,
Wow,
I am
okay.
raw dogging cereal.
All right, sure. Go. Good for you.
Also, Jesus Christ, what they make this out of? Adamantium?
Come on, old
Unobtainium.
man. Come on, old man.
we go.
You can do it.
god, there's so much glue on this. I'm gonna get cancer. All right. Get a good handful here. Oh.
Again, without doing the sniff test first. Just bugging me, bro.
I can smell it.
You're not even describing what it smells like. You're
Peanut
a terrible
butter.
food reviewer.
It smells like peanut butter. It tastes
Okay.
like peanut butter too.
It's good?
Colombian nose candy cookies.
Is it good for peanut butter cereal? Yes. Is it good cereal? Eh. It's very soft. It feels like if I put milk on this, it's gonna fall apart.
The fuck? Okay.
Alex is the reason they're putting Capri Sun in regular bottles now.
For real. That's
Wow.
real. That's
Fuck
so
you.
real.
Fuck you. How about that? I do feel like with milk though that would taste a little better. All right. And the other one is the marshmallow one, which I assume is supposed to be like Lucky Charms.
Okay. One of the
Probably
worst
came from the
cereals
same-
out there, but all right.
It's certainly one of the most
It used
sugary
to be
cereals
better.
out there.
I don't understand the appeal of wanting to eat fake marshmallows because I'd rather just eat a real marshmallow.
Me too.
I do remember Lucky Charms used to be a lot better way back
I just
in
think
the day.
that the other cereals, like my all-time favorite is Honey Nut Cheerios and Fruit Loops. Like those are my all-time favorites. And then I used to really like Frosted Flakes. I don't like it as much anymore, but like every other cereal is just flavorful, right? Like you got Trick cereal, it's all fruit flavored and stuff like that. Apple Jacks.
I hated the flavor of Trix.
This-
I hated it.
Really? I like the flavor of Trix.
The artificial fruit flavors were just nasty to me.
Speaking of
Nasty.
nasty, this smells like condensed sugar.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my god, it smells so sweet. Oh my god.
What does it taste like?
All right.
You got
I
the
don't have any
marshmallows?
marshmallows in this, so.
Thank God.
Oh my god.
He spit it out.
He spit
He's
it out.
spitting it out. Jeez. Oh no. He's
It is so
He's
sweet.
fighting
Holy fuck.
Oh man.
For
Too much
something that
sugar.
only has 10 grams of sugar in it, it sure tastes like it's got a lot more than that. Holy shit.
I wonder if they flavored it with artificial sugar as well.
Oh my god. Let's find out. Yes, there's aspartame in this.
Oh, that would make. Oh my God.
Ew.
I'm.
Oh.
Aspartame gives me the fucking poops, right? And I'm also lactose intolerant, so if you gave me a bowl of that, I would just be on the toilet all day.
I gotta find out how sweet these marshmallows taste.
No.
Oh no, Alex.
The actual cereal. Oh.
Oh my god.
the look on his face.
Ooh! Oh, Lucky Charms is so much better. Okay, Ghost, I love your energy drinks. I love your hydration drinks. Your cereal does leave a little bit to be desired. This marshmallow one, axe it. It sucks. The peanut butter one, I mean, give it a couple more rounds of research and development. It'll be good. But yeah, the peanut butter one's all right. The marshmallow one sucks.
Mini wheats are pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, mini wheats are good. I like those.
I like how all of them have like just a coating of sugar on the front. Like that's the only good part. So you got to face it down towards the milk, so that way your milk gets flavored with it, and then you just throw away the actual wheat cereal, and then just drink the milk, the sugar milk.
Did y'all ever have when you were
Such
a kid
an American thing to do.
Did y'all ever have when you were a kid the Cocoa Puffs that turned your milk into chocolate milk?
Cocoa
That shit
Puffs,
was
Cocoa Puffs.
amazing.
I love that shit. So I recently found another cereal. I wish I could have done a taste test with that as well. There's a bunch of YouTubers that got sponsored by it over the last couple years called Magic Spoon. And I
Yeah.
found that in the grocery store about a month ago. And it was also on sale, and I decided to get it to try it.
Garbage. Absolute garbage
And
here.
I got the chocolate one. I think there's like 5 or 6 ones that they make. I got the chocolate one. And oh my god, I got a burp. Oh god, that felt good. And it wasn't the worst cereal I've ever had in my life, but I saw that it turned my milk into chocolate milk, and I'm like, yeah.
No, I think Magic Spoon is like I'd rather eat cardboard I think cardboard would be
Damn.
more fulfilling.
The crazy thing about it is it's expensive and you don't get a lot of
Yeah,
it. Like
I know.
I got
How
two
much?
boxes. I got 2 boxes here in Florida where I live, and keep in mind we have one of the lower grocery prices in the country right now. $9.35.
What?
Yeah. You could just go buy granola. Like, I would rather just have granola for breakfast. It'd be a lot more
Now-
flavorful. It's going to be a lot more healthy because it's got more fiber in it for you. Like,
These
I
were
don't
$7.50 a
understand-
piece.
yeah. It's the branding, dude. It's white labeled and it's the branding.
Jesus.
No, like, if you're... Instead of eating all these weird, healthy cereal mix stuff that they keep making for some reason, it's like, just get actual oatmeal or, like, oats or something like that. Granola. Get fruit, like real fruit. Just add, like, yogurt into it. Mix it up,
get
eat
some
it. Like,
plain yogurt. And get
yeah,
some
like,
fruit.
there's so many healthier ways to have a breakfast that will have just as much calories, or just as much sugar, but a lot more fiber and nutrients and stuff for you.
Healthy sugars at that, not bad sugars.
Oh, sugar is sugar. It doesn't matter how you get sugar. Sugar is sugar. But it's about the micronutrients, you know, not just the macros. It's also about the micronutrients that you're receiving. But
Yeah, so that's my taste testing.
multi-meal cereals, off-brand, third price. Oh yeah, I love those. I have a big bag of Fruit Loops from them right now.
Oh, I know what. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Yeah,
It tastes exactly like, it's like 90% the taste of Fruit Loops, but like a third of the cost. I
I
love
don't
them.
think I've
This-
ever heard of it.
The Oreo flavored Coca-Cola was way better than I thought it was going to be.
Well, that makes me excited because I was concerned about it, but I'm gonna like try to drink it.
And if you like vanilla Coke, you'll probably like the Coke flavored Oreos.
I don't like vanilla Coke, so that's a shame. I like regular Oreos.
Yeah, that's a pass for me.
Oh, I love regular Oreos. I've fucking slut for Oreos, man. All right. I guess we can go ahead and get started with whatever you guys want to talk about, because I feel like I've taken up enough time with the taste testing.
Chinoda, tell me, Chinoda, tell me why arcade machines are timeless.
So
What is
arcade
this?
machines. What is what?
Did you go to round 1 for the HoloLive event too? You didn't invite me, bro?
He doesn't like whole live or VTubers. Why would he go?
No. No. So this whole topic spawned from the fact that I was at Costco the other day and they had this.
Oh, they sell the machines, the arcade
yeah.
machines. Yeah.
They had arcade machine, and like the display one they had was for like a golfing game or something, and I was just like, whatever, golf. Like, I don't give a shit. But like, I saw this kid that was just passing by. She saw the arcade machine, and just the joy in her eyes when she saw that, as it lit the fuck up, and she just beamed to the arcade machine. I'm like, okay, that's actually really cute to see. Like, arcade machines are well good and alive. People love them. So like, anytime I go to any boardwalk or whatever, or go to whatever bowling place or any arcade place that exists, I just see so many people at arcade machines still, and it's going so strong even after all these years. And I'm just like, yo, it's cool as shit to see that arcade machines are good and well, like, to all ages, not just like more older people like us.
Well, I think it depends on the type of arcade games that they have there.
That's true.
So,
Yeah.
like, the big arcade area next to us is it's around 1, and has a bunch of like arcade games from Japan. So the really cool ones are like ones that I think can't be recreated at home. So games like DDR or any of the rhythm games that have like the custom beat pad stuff. Like, it's hard to recreate the feeling of playing that. Like, there's one where it's like a fucking circle all around like this, and you have to play like in the circle. It's like you can emulate that with a mouse and a keyboard, sure, I guess, but it's not the same as like the tactile feel of me doing the sliding thing. or like a DDR machine pad, like how heavy duty they are. They're a lot more expensive. If you want one of those, they're like 10, 15, 20 grand or something. You can get a cheaper
Stupid
version for like a couple
yeah.
like grand, $5,000 for like the cheaper mats and stuff like that. Or whatever the built box thing. I guess you can build it yourself. And point is, there is an experience with certain arcade games that I say is better at an actual arcade. Rail shooters being one of them. Like I love like Time Crisis, or House of the Dead. Loved playing those video games as a kid. I was really good at Time Crisis 4. I played
It's not the same playing at home though, is it?
No, playing it at home. Like I learned where everything spawned in while playing Time Crisis 4 or no Time Crisis 3. Because I think that's the one on PS2. I think that's the one I played. I played it for a whole summer, and I learned where every single enemy spawned and how to beat every single thing. So that way, the next time I showed up at the arcade, I could beat the game with just the handgun without dying one time.
Holy shit.
I cleared the game in one playthrough just to show off because I played this game for months straight, and I learned everything about how to beat the game. It was crazy.
How insane
And
were
just
people
like that,
going
all the
at
women's
you?
panties got wet.
Listen, people were going crazy because like my second player co-op partner was just like, everyone usually dies before the first boss, and I'm like, here I am taking 0 hits, just using a regular handgun, not using any of the machine gun, shotgun, or the grenade launcher, because I knew exactly where the people would spawn, where I would get multi kills, who would I have to kill to get the special stuff. And I just knew everything, like all the spawn points, playing as player 1. It's just about as hype as when people see like me as a fat man playing DDR. They're just like, oh my god, he's playing DDR and he's playing heavy and he's doing really well. It's like, oh my god. It's just like, yeah, I like rhythm games. Also like rail shooters. But those, like, you can't recreate that at home. The experience of those type of machines, because of like with the pedal system, how they do with the arcade, the rail shooters, you have like a pedal system where you can go into cover to reload, and then like you have an actual fucking physical gun. I remember getting the gun part, but then to like reload and stuff, I had buttons on the side because it's still a remote on the gun. It just doesn't feel the same, dude. And your screen is like super tiny, and then versus the arcade screen, it's a lot bigger. I guess it's not much of a complaint nowadays because I have bigger screens, but I don't know. You can't recreate the feeling of that, or like especially like racing sims. I don't have a fucking racing sim booth. I'm not dropping $5,000 to make a racing sim booth. I'd rather
If you
just
have
go
a
to an
racing
arcade.
sim setup, then maybe you can recreate that.
That'd be freaking sick. I would love to have a racing sim setup.
Oh, me too.
But
That'd be
again,
the
I
dream.
could just go to the arcade and do that. Like playing Mario Kart, especially like, yeah, you can play Mario Kart at home with your friends and on the controller, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of like similar, but at an arcade with all the loud sounds and like all the lights and stuff, it's like an atmosphere thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I grew up around arcades. Like we had one before we had Round One. The only one we had near us was like GameWorks in downtown Seattle, or you would have a bunch of DDR machines and stuff at movie theaters. So they'd always have a little video game arcade section. And the other one local would be, or closer to from Seattle, would be Family Fun Center, which is still around to this day. But that one is more of like a game center area. Like they've got batting cages and stuff over there. I used to go to the batting cages, to the there's like, I think there's mini golf there. I've never done the mini golf there. I've done the go-karts though. Those were kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a family fun center in Orlando that I used to go to a lot, and it's, as far as I know, it's still operating.
Oh, it's it has, is it Hanna-Barbera? Is that something in Bullwinkle? Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hell is that?
You've never heard of Rocky and Bullwinkle?
No.
Oh my God.
Are they Hanna-Barbera characters?
I think they are Hanna-Barbera characters.
I don't
but I'm
know
not
who
100%
owns Rocky
sure.
and Bullwinkle, but yeah, they're like the mascots for Family Fun Center. And
Okay.
my dad used to take me there to go do the batting cages, and then as a treat, I would get to play DDR and like Time Crisis and stuff after we did the batting practice. I used to play baseball.
I'm trying to look up who actually owns Rocky. Now I'm genuinely curious who owns.
I
Rocky
thought it
and
was
Bullwinkle.
Hanna-Barbera because if it's not Disney, it has to be Hanna-Barbera.
It is neither of those. It looks like.
Oh, really? Okay.
American animated television series that originally aired from November 19th, 1959 to June 27th, 1964 on ABC and NBC television networks. Produced by J. Ward Productions.
Jay Ward. Huh. Anyway, Yeah, like the experience of an arcade and being able to just like physically participate on machines and stuff like that. Plus, there's also like tickets and stuff. Like one thing I don't like about round one is that they went to a completely paperless ticket system.
The card that you have.
Yeah, now your tickets are just loaded onto your card. You don't get the physical tickets anymore. I miss having the physical tickets just because, like, again, it's kind of the let me brag to random strangers factor about an arcade that makes it fun, because there are times where people are just looking at you like when I won a bunch of tickets because I got really good at the skee ball game. And I was like, I can land at least 75 and 100. If I don't land those, it's going to be either a 75 or I might land the 100. And I got really good at that, and I found that this pays a lot if you can keep scoring high. So I kept getting really good at knowing how to throw it to score high on the skee ball. So I would have like literally bundles of tickets, and people would just come in as they're coming into the arcade, just see me just sitting there like feeding it in, and they're looking at the counter. It's like, my God, he has over 30,000 tickets right now. And it's like, yeah, baby.
When I was young, I had something similar like that. You remember the arcade machines, which it was literally just the light would go around in a circle, and there was like right in front of the button that you would push, there'd be like a jackpot light, right?
Yeah.
And you had to stop the light right when it got on the jackpot to win the jackpot.
Yeah.
And usually the closer you got to the jackpot, the smaller the ticket numbers were.
Yeah.
Right. I got like surprisingly good at doing that over the course of like 2 years. To the point where I could actually hit jackpots multiple times in a row just by timing it. And there's a place that I went that had one of those where the minimum jackpot you could have, because usually the jackpot would go up by one each time someone didn't get it, by one ticket. The minimum start for the jackpot was 100 tickets. So I would just constantly sit there, get 100 tickets in a row, like 7, 8, 9 times in a row.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Look
there
at
is. I
this
remember
shit.
at Family Fun Center, there was one of those light games. It was like Titanic Sink or whatever it was. I don't remember what it was actually called. It was like Storm Drain or whatever. But for some reason, that one had a really forgiving window for the jackpot. Like more forgiving than most. I'd say like you had half a second to hit it, which was enough time for me to learn like a fast reaction time to actually get it. So every time I'd want a free 200 tickets, because that's what it reset to, the jackpot defaulted to 200 tickets per play. But it would climb up, and sometimes it'd be like 1,000, 2,000, whatever. But I got so good at it that I was like, hey, if I just keep hitting 200 on each one of these for just like, I think it was a quarter each play or something, 200 tickets could get me like something that was worth maybe, I think, $1. So I was making money.
Yeah. No, it was crazy.
I love
it was crazy
playing in
because
arcades.
you would draw a crowd if you're like constantly winning tickets at a game, and especially as a kid in one of those arcades,
Right.
you're drawing a crowd because people want to know how you're doing it.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like
Yeah.
arcades in general are a timeless thing. Like there's a whole social aspect to it. Not to mention just like the equipment difference is huge.
Yeah.
Now, I think that arcades are very scarce nowadays because it's pretty hard to. Yeah, she does. I think it's pretty hard to find games that are better in an arcade than it would be outside of an arcade. Like I said, there are specific rhythm games that it's just better in an arcade. Like I don't remember what the circle one is called, but it's like it's a circle thing and the pad is a literal circle. Like I don't have that type of setup. But other things like sound voltex and stuff like that, where it's like you press keys. It's like you have keys that you have to press, sure, but you also have like sliders and stuff like that.
Okay.
Those are just hard to recreate. So I think the reason why those have thrived so much is first of all, they have a cult following. So at round one near where I am, at South Center, there is every Friday and Saturday, there are groups of people who come and do DDR tournament stuff. Like they're B-boys, they're break dancers. They come here and they just play. They are locked in on that machine. Like good luck trying to get in on a Friday.
And I'm
or a
assuming they're
Saturday.
really good.
Yes, they're all amazing. They do like fucking crazy dance stuff.
So not Ray Gun.
John showed me some of the people that did like those games when I was over there hanging out with them.
Oh, I took you to round
Holy
one
shit.
with me.
Yeah, you did.
I forgot about that.
And I was just like, what the fuck am I looking at? Because I was like, is that no, wait, that's a person. That has to be a robot.
Yeah.
Like, they were so good.
And there's people who are addicted to other rhythm games, not just DDR machines, but like actual rhythm games like Sound Voltex or the one where the little slidey thing that I play. And they have like actual gear. They have headphones in so they can listen to the song perfectly. They've got their freaking gloves on. And I'm just like, yo, these guys are professional rhythm gamers.
Soon wants to know in the chat, are you talking about Waka?
Yes,
Or
I am talking about Waka.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Waka. I am talking about Waka. I love that thing.
Okay.
I do know Chrono Circle. I've seen that before.
I haven't played Chrono Circle. All I remember playing is I play Sound Voltex and I play Waka a lot. I play Project Diva whenever I feel like playing Project Diva. That one's a little cheating because like Project Diva you can just play at home. Project Diva at the arcade isn't as like
I love how
fantastical.
anytime Soon talks about it in our Discord server,
I do.
I love how you're like, you dare come against me in my own game?
yeah.
I will wipe the floor with you.
Listen, there are certain game genres you do not challenge me to.
I just imagine every time that someone tries to challenge John in a game he's genuinely good at, it's like that scene from Rocky where it's like, I must break you. I do think that Shinoda is right though when he says that arcade machines are timeless, because anytime I see like a Pac-Man machine or a Galaga machine, I'm laser focused. I'm about to spend like $50 in this machine over the next 4 hours.
No, that's legit though. I whenever I see an arcade machine like anywhere, I'm just like, do I have the time? Do I have the money? Like, do I want to do this? And like, I'm so tempted to say yes, but most of the time I'm doing some other bullshit and I can't. But I'm just looking at it like, hey baby, how you doing?
Oh, he says he tried challenging you to Smash in LA, but you chickened out. Yeah, I think you're being called out, John.
Oh,
I don't play Smash.
Oh,
Like, see?
Yeah.
He knew that he had a chance there because you don't play it.
Yeah, you can beat me in games that I don't play for sure. Like anyone can beat me in a game I don't play. What?
Oh my goodness! What Monster
question.
Girl traumatized me? Any Spider Girl will
or
traumatize
gave
the
you
hell out of me.
PTSD.
Literally, any Spider Girl will give me absolute nightmares.
John?
I don't care about monster girls. Like what? How would they traumatize me? I don't like spiders, so any type of spider monster girl, I'm just like, nah.
As for me, I don't get traumatized by monster girls. It's the exact opposite effect that
No,
happens
no,
for me.
that's right. Certified monster fucker.
Like, boing! Just watch our recent Pokemon Smasher Pass, and you'll see just how degenerate he is when it comes to things that aren't human.
I know what I
from
like.
no
What do you
thanks.
want?
Should we keep this on video games, John? Since we're talking about games.
I guess so. You want to talk about Concord? Because I want to talk about Concord.
Let's talk about Concord. Let's go.
I do, because I definitely wanted to talk about it since I knew you were going to be here. So I guess a little bit of TLDR. Concord was a game. That
Came
came
shut
out
down now, right? It was open for what, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
2 weeks. They came out
man.
3. Was it 3 weeks ago at this point, or a little over 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks
Something like
now.
that. I
yeah.
don't know.
And it had been in development for
8
6
years?
years.
8 years.
8 years. Been in development for 8 years. Concord was a hero shooter that was being developed. What was the name of the studio that developed it? I forget.
Some
X
studio.
X Bungie guy.
What X studio developed this, because there's no way they survived this shit. But yeah, it was developed by them at a time when like hero shooters were all the rage. It was developed, but then it took them so long to develop it that now Overwatch and all these other things have come along, and the hero shooter genre isn't quite what it used to be. It's very stale and oversaturated. And then they released it, and within 2 weeks it was gone. Because no one played it.
I will say, fun fact, funny as fuck fact. 69 players managed to platinum this game.
Nice.
Which is hilarious to me.
And since they've delisted it now, no one else can get those platinum trophies.
Those 69 people have that bragging right. Just hilarious
crazy.
to me.
So
That's actually a rare achievement now to have in gaming, that you're one of the 69 people.
Yeah, no, it actually is though.
achievement no one can ever get ever again. Yeah. So, God, where do I start with Concord? So, Sony decided this ex-Bungie developer team was like, "Hey, we like your concept so much, we'll fund you." And $100 million, and 8 years later, here we are at Concord. And it was god awful. I remember seeing inklings about it, and I didn't know anything about it other than people like, "Have you heard about Concord?" I'm like, "What is Concord?" And it's like, exactly. No one else knows what the hell Concord is. And I watched the trailer for Concord, and I was just like, this seems so generic. Like it's a very generic hero shooter. But I made some analysis of the video game genre itself. Like, a hero shooter can survive if the actual gunplay gameplay is fun. They don't have it on lock with the character designs. It's just dull. It's boring. And that's something that Lawbreakers had. So Lawbreakers was another hero shooter that launched 6 years ago, a long time ago.
Was
that
it
I really
that
liked.
long ago now?
Yeah, it was a while ago. So
Jesus.
Lawbreakers, I actually really liked the gunplay of. It was actually I did stream I think 2 games of me playing on the podcast. By the way,
You did.
That was
Yeah.
Lawbreakers was the one by Cliff Blazinski, right?
I don't remember who it was by. I just remember that in
look
Lawbreakers,
it up.
Justin Roiland made a guest appearance as one of the game mode announcers or something.
Oh, I bet that's aged like milk.
Well, at the time, people didn't hate Justin Roiland yet, but the gunplay.
jeez.
The gunplay in Lawbreakers was really fun. It was another hero shooter, but I really liked the speed of the gameplay and the actual movement tech and the actual how it felt to play the game. I loved the game feel, but it was just so lackluster in its design, lackluster in its voice acting, and it had an atrocious loot box system. It just was bad, bad.
Surprise mechanics, John.
Surprise mechanics. Yeah, they're not loot boxes. They're surprise mechanics.
It's not gambling. It's surprise mechanics.
Yeah, and it just was trying to compete with something like Overwatch, whereas yeah, people complain about Overwatch, it's super casual, but because it's super casual and the skill ceiling isn't that high like it was for Lawbreakers, it makes the game more accessible. That's something that you have to think about when you make a game is
Accessibility, yeah.
well, you have the people who are going to play your game all the time, which are going to be normies, right? The normal, I just hop on to play pubs every night off after work or something. These people are your casual player base. Your casual player base are going to spend probably not the most money, but they will spend money. And as long as they like your game and like your skins and you have cool collaborations and stuff, as we've seen with Fortnite, people will just pay money just to casually play. Then you also have the professional scene, and it's yeah, professional is a little bit different because that's where tactics come into play. But the point is, for Overwatch, the gunplay itself is not so crazy that there's a high skill ceiling for every character, where a really skilled professional player who plays this one character will be able to dominate with just this one character. It's no, that's not the case at all, because there's actual counters in the game. So it's good to actually have it be more casual. This is why games like League of Legends is so popular, because it's such a casual game. There is an actual skills cap, and there's not a high skill ceiling, and there's actual counters in the game. That's why it works. And also, all the character skins are just fucking amazing. They look whew, my God, those Diva skins, bro. Whew. But that's where games like Concord and Lawbreakers really drop the ball. It's okay, if you can't even get that right, where your character models and designs are as good as your competition, then you got to make up severely in other places. And then I watched Charlie play the game live, and I'm my God, this game is atrociously slow. The time to kill in that video game is so high. It's twice as long as Overwatch. I'm I understand it's not like Call of Duty where you get beamed in a second and a half, but here we are in a game where it takes over 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds or 3 seconds to kill somebody. if not more, because it depends on the character that you're playing and how
That's
fast
an
they shoot.
eternity in shooters.
That is an eternity. It is long, long wait time, right? The game speed itself is super slow. How long it takes to actually play a game, a match, and complete it, it was like at minimum 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, what kind of game should run that long, especially in these? Like, I get that Overwatch 1 was real bad because it took like 30 minutes a game sometimes. Like, that was an average play time. So they corrected that. Now it takes like 15, 20 minutes a game. And it's like, yeah, that's kind of the sweet spot for most people nowadays. Let me play a game where it's only going to be about 10 to 15 minutes long. And the people who like playing 30-plus minute games, like people like playing Civ and stuff like that, they can go and play Civ. But for the most part, for a lot of casual players, I want to be able to be in and out of a video game about 10, 15 minutes. That's kind of my game cycle. So within that 10, 15 minutes, you got to make sure that I'm enjoying every fucking second of time I am in that game. So you have to think about all the things that go into, all right, you drop into a new game, you have about average 10, 15 minutes. How do I make sure that every second that you are playing this game, it is fun? Now you have to develop other things, like how it feels to control your character, how it feels to get kills, right? Like, Fortnite does a lot of things great for game design. How it feels to get kills in Fortnite is amazing because not only do you see their death animation, you see a little thing like where they get deleted, right? It's like, oh, I just fucking deleted you, bro. You get the impact shots, right, on your own screen. You get the big elimination thing on the center of the screen. Like, all of these go into telling people or having people feel like I feel rewarded for what I just did. And having that constant validation that, hey, you're playing this game and you're doing well, reinforces people wanting to play your game. That's part of game design. That's part of the game
Very
feel.
frenetic.
So Concord doesn't do any of that. Lawbreakers is the same way. One of the things that I didn't like about Lawbreakers was that it didn't feel really good when I killed people. Like, I would dunk on people left and right, but it's just like, it was kind of just like watching text scroll on a screen. And I'm just like, it didn't feel
you an
hefty.
empty feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, Overwatch has ragdoll effects. When you kill someone, they ragdoll, they have death sound effects where it's like, oh, and then you see them ragdoll away, and it's just like, that makes me feel good. The fact that I shot my big gun and went bang, and then my screen shook a little bit, and then they went, oh, like freaking TV or a movie. Beautiful. Based. Love it. So Concord has none of that. It's like, okay, what about the sound effects? What about the actual, like, effect design? Garbage. Completely garbage. Like, okay, what about the effects when you're shooting the guns? How does it feel when you attack? It feels like I'm
So
using a
basic.
fucking a super soaker, bro. Like, or not even a super soaker, like a dollar store super soaker, not an actual like Nerf super soaker, bro. It feels so like I'm like, what is this? My garden hose would be better to use as a weapon than this fucking gun you're using.
Or an actual super soaker.
So it's like there are so many bad design choices that went into Concord, and I don't understand how they spent $100 million. Like, as a game developer, I'm currently struggling with like making my game at the moment feel good to play, and I'm like constantly trying to feel. I'm doing new ideas right now. I'm actually gonna do a whole fucking different change again. Once again, go back to the drawing board and do something else.
Isn't
try to
that
make
like
it
the
feel
big
good.
challenge of game design? Because it has to feel good to play for you, but it also has to feel good to play for others.
Yeah, it has to feel good to play in general.
Yeah.
But for me, because I've spent so long playing games, I analyze so much. If I don't think it's fun, then I don't want to ship this game. So my question is, for the Concord developers, like, did you not play your game? Did you not, like, when you were doing the white box for this, did the mechanics feel fun to you? Because, look, you have to wipe away all the effects, right? Sound effects, visual effects. You have to wipe away screen shake, any of the things that look good. Does the core mechanic of this game play well? So if at the core of mechanic of Concord, before all the art, before everything else, did it feel actually fun to do this game mode without any of the other things, the bells and whistles? Because to me, I'm breaking down all the game modes and like how they play out, and I'm like, this is not fun to play. Mm-hmm. The map design, not fun to play. Too big, too many corners, not enough choke points. Like, what was strategic about this? Because if I played Counter, like, I shit you not, I can recreate your game in Minecraft because your core mechanics I'm serious. Listen to me. If I can recreate the core mechanics of your video game in Minecraft and it feels like I'm playing that game, you have a good fucking game. because Minecraft, it has a lot of things you could do in it and special code and stuff you can do in there to make it like do whatever you want. But essentially, it's more of a dumbed down, light version of the game, right? But the core mechanics stay the same. So if I can replicate those core mechanics into this game, and it's basically like what we call white boxing, where it's like, here's the main concept of the game, here's the main gameplay loop. Is this fun to play? Is there something here attracting me? And if that's not fun, then who cares about how much you throw at character design, at modeling, at animation, at effects? No, It's not going to matter if the core sucks. So I don't understand as a game developer, if you played your game, did you like the core concept of this game? If so, where was it in the final product? Because there was nothing about the final product I liked. And
or
me
if
breaking
the answer,
down,
if the answer to that is yes, then they clearly have a poor understanding of what game design should be.
well, I get it. There are
Yeah.
a lot of type of gamers out there. A lot of people who enjoy different things in video games, right?
And there
I
are
like
people
to
who legitimately enjoyed this game.
Yeah, I'm sure there are people who legitimately enjoyed this game, but my main takeaway here is that you're supposed to be testing your stuff as you're making it, and if you did not enjoy the core of your game, what makes you think anyone else would enjoy the core? And if you did enjoy the core of your game of Concord when you were making it in your white box, what did you enjoy about it? Because I definitely didn't find any trace of anything I could enjoy about it after, because of all the other mitigating factors, the speed of the game, the flow of the game, how it feels to fucking just go through it. Maybe it would have been better if there was more players and there were more skilled players. Maybe I would have liked it more. Because watching Charlie play there, it's like he was playing against bots, bro. I was like, this is
He
not
may
fun
very
at
well
all.
have been. Who knows?
Because look at a game like Team Fortress 2, all right? Team Fortress 2 core concept is the exact same as Concord. It's a hero shooter, right? It's a first-person hero shooter. It doesn't have special abilities and stuff, and the classes are pretty different because the only difference is your class is going to have different health, and different weapons. But it's different enough that it's fun to play, and the core concept of playing Team Fortress 2 is still fun because the map design is fucking awesome. One thing I love about Valve, all right, I love Counter-Strike. I love the map designs in Counter-Strike. I think all of it is basically really well balanced. There is something to be said about that. The balancing inside of the map designs inside of Counter-Strike. I should do a whole video about that. I should just do a video game channel. Now it's like, fuck making video games, dude. I'm just going to talk about video games now. We do a deep dive on map design.
Just like a lot of other video game YouTubers.
But yeah, there's so much that goes into it that you don't think about. But as a developer myself, after doing all this, I think about it now. And I'm just like, God, there's so much here that I can talk about. That I'm like, how did you make this? Do you like video games? Do you play video games? Because it matters. All these small things that you don't think that matter that I know people won't pick up on. 90% of your player base will not pick up on all the things that I talk about. But that's fine. Because that's not your job as a player.
As
your
long
job
as they're
is just
enjoying it, they don't have
yeah.
to pick up on everything.
Your job is just to enjoy the game however you want to enjoy the game as the consumer, as the player. My job is to make sure that you have fun. So that, boiling it down to that, if I'm having fun, I think you could have fun because that makes me understand why. And then there's also beta testing and stuff like that. I believe they did an early access for this video game before they launched it.
They did, yeah.
They did.
And it was a resounding flat, man, this game is kind of boring. But I think too little too late. Your core game was already fully developed and it was bad when you showed it to other people. There's not much you can change at that point to change the entire game other than all right, we're just going to increase the variables for speed. We're going to increase this. We're going to do there's major things you could do to change it, but
that's
it would break
take
balancing.
more development time and more money.
Yeah, it's just I don't understand how Concord got to the point at launch like this.
They had a closed beta and an open beta, and they still launched with this shit.
Yep.
Wow.
Then it launched and nothing changed. See, even with the betas, betas are very valuable things to do because it gives you a lot of information and especially a lot of player feedback. Mm-hmm. If you have a set team of people play testing your game for you as you develop, they're not going to be the same people who are going to be playing your game all the time. Everyone enjoys it differently. Everyone has different quirks. You got to think about how your game can appeal to others who may or may not be as seasoned as you as a video game player, right? How they interact with it, how they understand it. You have to be able to communicate what you want to them, and you've got to kind of make a contingency plan for when they play not how you want them to play, and just kind of fix from there. It's kind of like being a DM. Actually, I've heard that from other developers. Like if you know how to, if you understand the pains of being a D&D DM, then you understand the pains of being a game developer.
You know what's funny, John, is that you say about how when you get to a certain point in the development process and you test it out, and whether you're having a good time with it or not, or whether you're enjoying the mechanics, and then you go from there. There was someone I was watching, and I can't remember who it was, that said about Concord, it's almost like they made a game for themselves and never considered that anyone else would ever play it.
Now, there are certain games where people make it for themselves, and they don't care about anyone else who plays it. Like Getting Over It by Bennett Foddy.
Yeah.
It's a game he made for himself for something he was going through, and just really asking himself the existential question of what does it mean to be a game designer? And it's just like, I get it, Bennett Foddy, but I fucking hate your game, bro. I get the message you're trying to tell me, but I hate you. Your game sucks. Quap sucks. But yeah, because making a game, at least for me as an indie developer, it's more of a personal thing for me. Mm-hmm. I want to make a game that I think is fun. I'm trying to recreate and recapture the memories of like when I was a teenager playing video games with my friends, like all the stupid shit that we would get up to, and just like I want to recapture that experience, and I want to give it to everyone else, like to give them the opportunity to have this type of experience of like just wasting hours doing stupid shit, building and doing stupid things, and just having fun with friends. Like that is my main core concept.
I mean, right now we are shitting a lot on Concord.
I'm shitting on Concord, but also talking about my love for video games as a video game designer and just as a consumer as well.
This kind of set off like a really interesting trajectory that Sony has been on in the last like month or so, because they had Concord come out and everyone was shitting on Sony and the developers for that. And then Sony released, was it Astrobot?
Astrobot, yep.
And everyone was absolutely praising the absolute ever-living fuck out of that game. And everyone's like, okay, Sony had a misstep, and now they're back with Astrobot. And then they immediately said, now's a great time to release a console that's going to cost $700 and do absolutely nothing for you and doesn't come with a disc drive.
Oh, the PS5 Pro.
Yeah. Sony's been real interesting lately in terms of headlines.
I don't think people understand that Sony Entertainment isn't just a company that makes video games, right? They have music.
They do everything. They make TVs.
They have a bunch of electronics. Like they have their hands in a lot of things. So
Sony as a company is a massive company.
Sony being able to kind of just do projects as they want willy-nilly is just like within their realm of money. They can do it. Yeah. They're going to be fine.
You know what's funny is I saw a meme. I think it was yesterday or day before yesterday, where it says, "Do nothing, watch your competition shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly, profit." And it's a picture of Shigeru Miyamoto. What is this business strategy?
No, I believe Nintendo is releasing like a $500-$600 console as well now, right?
Well, they are supposedly sometime soon. The next Switch is going to be announced.
Yeah, that's what the heavy speculation is, and it doesn't seem as much rumor anymore as more of educated guesses.
Can't wait for 3 billion people to buy 2-generation-old hardware again.
Well, the thing about Nintendo is they do not operate on a loss market like Xbox and PlayStation do.
Oh, very clearly.
They do not sell their game consoles for a loss. So Microsoft and Sony sell their game consoles for a loss because they will make up for it in subscription services and game sales. Because they own a bunch of the studios. Yeah. They sell you the hardware for cheaper and take a loss on that because they know they will get, over the lifetime of you owning this hardware console, all the money from the software and like memberships and stuff like that.
Which is really easy to do when you sell 30-year-old games for $60.
Yeah. Nintendo, however, does not take a loss on their consoles, so they will charge more or as much as they need to charge that will cover the cost of the actual console, which is why it's generally like 2 generations behind and it's still like $300.
Yeah.
$400 or whatever.
Which seems like a bargain compared to $700.
It does, but like I said, the hardware that you get for it. But then there's a whole thing about, I don't want to get into it. Anyway,
it's a profit loss thing, and it's a business strategy.
Oh, there's so much I can talk about that too. Oh, there's so much I
I
know
will
about the
say,
video
though-
game industry now. Oh.
I will say though, specs wise, the PS5 does look really good.
Listen, I've always been a Sony fanboy since like PlayStation 1. All right, I've owned every single PlayStation. I still don't own a PlayStation 5 though because there's no games on it. I know that this is a hot take, but I kind of miss having console exclusive games that were so good that it made me go get a console because that's how it would get me to get a console. PlayStation 5 has not had any exclusives on it that made me go, I need to get a PlayStation right now.
Really, none of them. Horizon, God of War, Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank.
Nope.
I just think it's funny that
okay.
the president of PlayStation, I think it was the president of PlayStation, maybe not the president of Sony, came out recently and said, we don't have any good first-party games, yet they're sitting on like 20 first-party IPs that they haven't done anything within 20 years.
Exactly.
like,
what the heck,
hello?
Sony, do something. Like, what's that? The
Bro,
meme, poke
do you know how
something?
much people would buy a new Ratchet and Clank game? Come the fuck on.
I certainly think it's dumb to have timed exclusives, I should say, because if it's a game that's going to come out like a year later on PC, I have a PC that's way stronger than any of my consoles will ever be. I will wait until it comes out on PC. I will wait that year. Now, granted, there are certain games where I will buy it immediately because it was exclusive. Like, for example,
Lego Middle Earth Collection.
for Project Diva, I bought a PlayStation Vita because Project Diva came out in the US only on Vita first, not on PlayStation 3. For some reason, Project Diva, I think it was Project Diva F second? No, that was the second one. No, Project Diva F. Project Diva F came out on the PlayStation Vita a year or a year and a half before the PlayStation 3 version. So I bought a Vita from someone because I was like, hey, I have Project Diva F, right? The first Project Diva game coming to the US. I can get this now. Mm-hmm. And I also got Persona 4 Golden, the remake, and I love Persona 4. And Golden was amazing. I love that. And there was like 4 other games for my Vita. But it made me go buy an exclusive handheld console because it was the only way for me to play this fucking game. And then I bought it again when it came out on PlayStation 3 because I like Project Diva a lot. I did the same thing for Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter World, it came out, and I was like, dude, I love Monster Hunter. I can only play it on console right now. Same thing for Borderlands 3. I can only play it on console right now for a full year. I bought it first, then I experienced it. Monster Hunter World was so good, I bought it again for PC because it's a really good game. I did not buy Borderlands 3 again because I did not like Borderlands 3 that much. It's fun. It's not a bad game. It was okay, yeah, but it's not like Borderlands 2 of like, if it was Borderlands 2, I would have been like, oh god, I'm gonna buy it both 2 times now. A double dip. But that's my point. Like,
I've had
just like
friends that have
Skyrim.
bought Borderlands 2 like 3 or 4 times, just like different collector's edition, like normal game on different consoles, collector's edition, just because they loved it so fucking much. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's fun as shit.
So I don't think that console exclusive games are a bad thing because it makes people buy consoles. It has certainly worked on me. I bought an Xbox One because I had to play Halo because Master Chief Collection came out, but I wouldn't be able to play Halo 4 and 5 before that because it wasn't coming to PC.
You still can't play Halo 5 on PC.
Yeah, you still can't play Halo 5 on PC. And I was like, all right.
Not that you should play Halo 5 at all, but...
No, but for the sake of like, hey, I played Halo 1 and 2 and 3 and ODST, and then I haven't played anything else. So then, like, when I first played Reach, amazing game. Reach would have made... If Halo was like Reach the entire time throughout all of its franchise, I would have like completely bought an Xbox just for Halo itself. But
I've said this before, if Halo ended with Reach, I'd be okay with that.
Point is, I bought an Xbox One specifically to play Halo.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, the Master Chief Collection is coming out, but it's not going to be out for a whole year. but it's out on fucking console. So I was like, fuck it, I'm buying it on console. And the guy selling it was like, also, I got Halo 4 and 5. Throw that in for free. And I'm like, sure, I'll take it.
I don't have any of the new generations of consoles at all. I've been mostly PC the entire time this generation. But
I literally bought
GTA 6
a
coming
Nintendo-
out next year. GTA 6 coming out next year. I might have to buy a new console. Oh, what's he got? Show and tell?
I literally bought
Is it your Switch?
the Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch because I wanted to play Animal Crossing. It's such a
Nice.
good game. I played the crap out of this for like 3 months. And that's the only game that I played on my Switch. I have Pokemon on here. I was going to beat Pokemon, but I still haven't played it. But point is, I know other people hate my opinion. They're going to flame me. I don't care. I think title exclusives, console exclusive games are a good thing for the console market.
Oh, that's a hot take.
I know it's a hot take, but I like it because it makes me go like, fuck, is this game really that good that I have to go get this console? And then I'm always surprised because I'm like, it was worth it. Like, I do not regret any of my console purchases for the specific title of games. The Halo collection, Halo on Microsoft, do not regret
The
that.
Master Chief Collection.
The Animal Crossing on my Switch, do not regret that whatsoever. And now I have this game console for anything else going forward. My Nintendo DS, my 3DS that I got it for Project Mirai DX. Freaking another Miku game. Don't regret.
I do have to say, Liam, I think Irish kidneys without a trace of liquor are probably more rare than platinum.
I don't know what any of
Sláinte
that
to a
means.
fellow Irishman.
What's it called? But yeah, no. Consoles. What a thing. Am I right?
Yeah.
I like talking about video games. Should we just change to be a video game podcast?
That means I would have to play a lot more.
Well, I will say on the flip side of all this, and I'll keep going with this since we're on the topic of video games anyway. Recently on stream, I got the chance to play A Way Out with Soon. For those who don't know, A Way Out is a game that is meant to be played co-op between you and one other person. And it is set up as like this prison escape thing, right? Where you're both in prison, you're both trying to escape. It becomes like a really good thriller story, especially once you get out. And I won't spoil much of it for you. Yes, you were there soon. Thank you for being there. It was a great experience. But it made me realize something while I was playing it. This game is a very short experience. You can get through the entire thing in about 6.5 to 7 hours.
Right.
And that is even assuming there are a myriad of like side activities you can come across during this game that have no effect on the game or on the story, have no effect on really anything. They're just there for you to play. So it's things like darts, or there's like a banjo you can play at one point that turns it into a rhythm game.
Bro, is this just like Yakuza? It's like you're playing Yakuza?
It's kinda, but it's way more focused than Yakuza as a story.
Okay.
Like it's a very short, succinct story. And it made me really appreciate that, like realize how much I appreciate that in video games. Like these, as great as I like the AAA experiences of like these big sweeping things that you play for 100+ hours, those can be fun too, like Skyrim. I've put 1,000+ hours into that game at this point, and I love it. But these games that you can get through in a short amount of time are great, especially when they're really story focused.
I have something to say about that. I genuinely love AA games, and I think there's been a severe lack of them over the years. Like, don't get me wrong, AAA games, as Alex said, wonderful, amazing experiences. And indie games, really fun, really cool, interesting games. But I love AA games as well, where they're good produced games, but like they're not nearly as long or nearly as thought out, but still fun, good games that only need a set amount of hours to get through. And I love that. I love them. I used to play a lot more of them way back in the day. There's been a missing glut of them. John?
The thing is, you got to understand from a consumer standpoint, no one wants to pay $60. Actually, no, it's like $70 nowadays, $70, $80 for a video game to only play for like 10 hours, right?
Yeah,
it is a
for sure.
hard sell. And I agree. I think I want value for my money. Now, I do also agree that it's more important about how the experience feels. Like Dead Space 1 Remake, you can get through the game in like 10, 12 hours. It's a $60 game. At launch, it was $60. I don't like paying $60 for it, but I think the experience was well worth my money.
Yeah, because it's a good story. Plus, it's a
but,
longer.
But I'm biased because again, Dead Space is my favorite game franchise. So
it is
remake,
longer if you go into the side content. It is a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, it's a little bit longer now. It's like 16 hours or whatever it is for the side content. But I think the funneled experience of it was worth the price tag. But there are a lot of games that are too worried about that, so they'll tack in stupid bullshit on the side to kind of just like elongate your playtime. Like, this is a very infamous thing for JRPGs to do.
Yes.
Where it's like, we're going to add backtracking and all this other stupid questing bullshit that you have to do.
Or a bunch of side activities.
Yeah. Well, like, for example, one of my favorite JRPGs is Golden Sun. Golden Sun is a really fun game for the first half. The second half consists of backtracking for the last 5 hours of the game, and it kind of fucking sucks, to be honest. Like, seriously, it really fucking sucks. It's not atrocious, but man, I'm like, I see that they were like, we need to add some stuff to kind of artificially inflate your playtime so that way you don't feel bad for buying this game for $40.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Golden Sun, dude. It's
Golden
so good.
Sun
One of my
mentioned.
favorite JRPGs.
Also, yes, Soon did score higher than me in most of the side games we played in A Way Out.
That's no surprise.
Also, going back to A Way Out, though, I was genuinely surprised for what the game purports itself to be versus what my experience was with it. I feel like I got more than my money's worth with it. Now, granted, when I bought it on Steam, I bought it on sale. It is well worth the price of it on sale. I think I bought it for like 75% off, and I think I got it for like $9.99. So if you ever find it that cheap or even cheaper, definitely buy it, play it with your friend. You will not regret it. And I did not realize, although I assume so, I have to go through and play it again to find out for sure. But the game has to have multiple endings based on how that final sequence plays out. Because there's a point where at the end it becomes a shooting segment where you actually are shooting at each other.
Right.
And there's a health bar. And obviously it has to play out differently based on who hurts who the most. It has to.
A Way Out has 2 possible endings.
Okay. I figured it had to based on how the game itself ended. So obviously what we saw on our stream was only one of them.
Yeah, like
kind of makes me want to go through and play it again.
Having multiple endings is another way that people will use to kind of like artificially inflate playtime. One of my other favorite games, it's a very short playthrough. Like if you play it through normally, it takes like maybe 15, 20 hours to beat. It's Prey. Prey by Arcane Studios.
Which you have suggested I play on stream.
It is a fun game, dude. You'll love it. But one of my complaints for Prey, like the only complaint I have about Prey, is that the alternate endings aren't too like alternate. There's basically 3 main alternate endings. There's mainly 3 endings. And the other 6 that you can get aren't really that different at all from the 3 main, neutral, good, bad. Those are your 3 endings. So for them to like tout, it's only 20 hours to play through, but we have these 9 total endings, so you can go play through. I'm like, you shouldn't focus on that, Arcane. Like that is not a selling point to me. I know that people complain that it's a $60 game and it only took about 15, 20 hours to beat. And there were people speedrunning it on like day 1, like beating the game in like less than 10 minutes. Because one of the like any percent run just get to one of the endings, and one of the endings you can get to in like 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. So it's hilarious. Oh. But point is, I think that the core experience of Prey, just in like one playthrough where I don't know what I'm supposed to do, was fun enough. And me playing Prey up to I have like 80 hours or 60 hours in there. I played through it a couple more times for different endings to do different things and just to test stuff. And that's just me wanting to replay it. But people complain about it not having a New Game Plus feature where you can have all your abilities still and just like basically max out the trees and stuff. And it's just like, I don't want them to add in things to artificially inflate the playtime because I think the core experience itself was fun enough. And I understand, though, that as far as a consumer goes, it's tough to ask you for $60 when you're only playing it for 20 hours and you're never going to play it again.
Yeah.
Right? If there's no reason to play it again. Like, if I paid for Heavy Rain the full $60 price tag, I would be pissed the fuck off. Actually, I was pissed the fuck off. Mainly because of Heavy Rain. I just hated the game. I don't know why people liked it. I also just hate David Cage too. But
Can I ask you something, John? As someone who is in like the game design business now, do you think that like platforms like Steam make it easier for games like this to get made, where they can charge a lot less money because they don't have the distribution cost as high as with a physical game? It's like you could, for a game that's only like, say, 20 hours or shorter, maybe you only charge $15 for it.
Ooh.
To give you an answer, so Steam takes 30%. You put a game up on Steam, you pay 30% of your sales go to Steam.
Mm-hmm.
On top of other like fees and stuff. But that all depends on how you as a consumer feel about your developers starving, because developing is a full-time job. Trying to do it on the side is very hard to do. And sure, you could put up a bunch of, like, this is why shovelware exists, because people want to make money with the least amount of effort possible, because it's kind of impossible to make developing a full-time job.
And some of that shovelware is made by all one person.
Yeah. So you got to understand, when people are developing a game, they spend a lot of time, their own time, and their own money, right? Like, for indie developers, they're spending their own time and money. Like, Eric for Stardew, he spent, 2.5 years? 2 years? Was it 2.5 years? Eric did that?
Yeah.
2.5 years making Stardew Valley while working a full-time job. So in his free time, he was making Stardew Valley. Those
a passion project, basically.
Yeah. Well, these have costs associated with them. So I know that someone who made a game, they made like $1 million basically, and we're like, wow, that was a lot of money. But he was like, yeah, but after we split it between the three of us and the amount of time and effort we put into it, it didn't make nearly enough. That and it's like, when you hear that, it's like, whoa, wait, you made $1 million, but that wasn't enough? And it's like, no, because the time it took for us to develop it, after all the costs and stuff, it evened out to, like, basically I could have just worked a regular job and I would have made just as much with a lot less stress.
Yeah.
So that's something that, as consumers, they don't think about ever. And they don't have to, right? You're a consumer. You're giving us money. You don't have to worry about whether or not I can fucking feed my family today or not.
Yeah.
But that is something that you have to keep in mind. And with platforms like Steam, letting people just sell games for cheaper, right? Self-publish. I think that there is no real reason to not self-publish, because publishers, your platforms that you're selling on are already going to take a cut. You're depending on what you're developing it in, they might take a cut. Like Unity, Unreal, they'll take a cut. And then on top of that, if you have a publisher helping you, like, publishers help because they give you money up front. Like, hey, we like your idea for your game, or we like this game concept. Here's how much money do you need? Here's the money that we're going to give you. Go make that game.
And they'll help you market it too.
Depends on how you negotiate.
True. They can help you market it better than you can yourself.
Most of the time, they do help with that. I know that.
Yeah. So that's why I mean, like, it depends. Because Steam takes such a huge cut, it's hard to, like, recommend. But it's kind of, it doesn't have a really good curating either on Steam. Like the For You hot page, like, other than, like, if it's a hot game, like, everyone's buying it, it'll be on the top sellers of this month or this week on the bottom. It's hard to get in the front. Yeah, it's hard to get into the front without a publisher on your name. Like, right now, Steam's doing a publisher sale for, like, THQ or whatever the fuck it is.
They're also doing a PlayStation publish sale too.
Yeah, so it's like having those type of connections help. and it's better to go to a publisher versus self-publishing. This is why like there are pros and cons to it, but it all comes down to like advertising on your own time, understanding how to do social media, but all of that comes at a cost. Because most of the time you're not getting paid to do any of this. Especially if you're self-publishing like I am. I'm not getting paid to do this.
And even more so if you're a one-man creator.
Yeah, like again, going
so
back
much
to
more
Eric and Stardew, the amount of time that he worked on the game for 2.5 years compared to like what he would have made just developing, it would have been comparable. Yeah. How much time and effort he put into it was comparable to how much time and money he was making while developing the game, like at his actual job. That's how much time and effort it would took, or how much money.
Yes, I do
Classy,
remember Prototype. Prototype is a very underrated game, in my opinion.
Classy did ask us if any of us played Still the Wake's Deep. I don't think any of us have played it. Yeah,
I've never even heard of it. I assume with a name like that, it's got to be horror related. Sounds like the name of something Lovecraftian.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about it because I was thoroughly blown away by how much I enjoyed A Way Out. I did not think that going into what was ostensibly a AA experience that is not like super upfront with what the actual story is about, I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. Good on the developers, because they made a genuinely enjoyable game that I not only want to go back and play some of those side activities because they were genuinely fun too, but I want to see the second ending that I wasn't able to get the first time.
It's really cool. But speaking of more video games,
oh god,
I know exactly what you're going to start talking about. I got to go to the bathroom, but keep talking. I can hear you.
Okay. I do not understand the point of playing porn games. Who buys these games? What are you supposed to do with them? You just jerk off while you're playing the game? Like,
You're playing one-handed.
That's certainly a design choice. I guess, like Honey Pop, you can play one-handed, right? Like it's just a little bubble bopper thing.
yes, you can.
Does this make porn games the most accessible games on the market because they're designed to play one-handed? I have questions and I need some answers. Okay.
Look, he's right. Liam is right. There's a lot of porn games that are more than just sex, and there's a lot of good plot lines to them and all that.
We had a discussion on one of our other episodes. The episode that's coming out on Monday, I believe, the monthly dump, about like visual novels. A bunch of them are just porn games, but they aren't just porn. Like the purpose of them are not just for porn. The purpose of a visual novel is to tell a story, and like for Clannad, for example, the true ending, the best ending for Clannad is not the porn ending.
Yeah. The bad endings in Clannad are the porn endings.
Lust Balls Plus.
I've never heard of it, but I am intrigued.
I was on Steam, and it was like for some reason there was a bunch of porn games in the recommended, like not recommended for me, but like the
Of course.
Not recommended for me.
In Minecraft.
No, not in Minecraft. No, I don't remember. I have to pull up Steam. Hold on. I forget what it was on.
I am genuinely curious now because it recommends porn games to me all the time, but I also have quite a few to my Steam library, so it should.
Literally, new and trending, Aldrea Sex Saga. Literally, nice. The first game I'm looking at on Steam.
Nice.
So the new and trending page, and like on the bottom when you scroll down on Steam, and then there's the trending.
Add
tree.
to wish list.
Of course you would. So going down here, I just saw a bunch of porn games, and I'm just like, who buys these? Like,
a lot of horny people. Your wife. That's
the
who.
only porn game I've ever played would technically be Clannad, because I played Clannad. I watched Markiplier play Hooney Pop, and then I watched AJ play Hooney Pop on the server one night while he was like bored, and I was just like, I've never seen an actual person play Hoonie Pop. And I'm like, what is this game? And I'm
You
like,
exist?
oh my god.
They exist.
So I'm just like, I'm curious about like who makes these games and what they're for, because the ones that I was looking at for the new and trending were just like, they all looked like shovelware to me.
I mean, I do think a lot of them reuse like art assets and stuff, which is not great.
There was that recent one that was really popular. It was like a free-to-play one, like it's a mobile game or something, like a mobile, not mobile game, but like it was kind of like a mobile game. It was what was it, live service, like, with, what the fuck are they called, battle pass type of stuff.
Really?
Live service?
Yeah,
There
there was a
service porn game.
It was like a live service porn game, like a trading card porn game or something, and I'm just like, what is this?
Wow.
That's so weird.
I know, but it was super popular. And I'm just,
Genshin.
listen, I understand that the Gooner market is doing well and good. Like, the amount of women I see that have OnlyFans nowadays. I went on Twitter yesterday, and I'm just like, the amount of
Well, that was
people
your
just,
first mistake.
Yeah, I went on
Really.
Twitter yesterday, and that was definitely a mistake. But the amount of just like girls selling themselves on OnlyFans just like proliferating everywhere, right? And that's not just even there. It's also on YouTube comments. Like, there's bot accounts like stealing top comments and then just being like topless girls from OnlyFans. And you click on their profile. Turkey Tom just did a video on this, but it's like, yeah, there's all these bot accounts doing this, and I'm just like, the Gooner market is alive and well. So I understand that there's a bunch of money and degeneracy involved in this, and that's probably why the people keep making them. But I just don't understand, like, do you play porn games by yourself? Are you supposed to play with other people? Like, do you have groups, support groups of porn players?
Support groups.
Yeah,
That's
like,
like
oh, man.
Alcoholics
therapy.
Anonymous. A support group like Alcoholics Anonymous.
I'm just trying to think of, like, how do you segue into, like, oh man, so I just played this new porn game, Lust Doll 5. Let me tell you about how much I fucking jacked off. How do you talk about a porn game to someone else who enjoys porn games? Like,
you
it
gotta
just
talk
seems-
to your like-minded people about that. You don't talk to everyone about it. That's the thing.
No, exactly. No, you play with the science team, John.
For research.
I
Can I just
have-
say, so there is there's that game that's the Project Melody game that's in development. I will definitely be playing that when it comes out.
I did not know there was a Project Melody game in development.
My dude, we had Yara on here as a guest on the podcast.
I don't,
Yara
Well, this was
is
a
the
while
voice
ago.
director for the game.
Oh, this was a while ago.
I
Okay.
don't remember if Shinoda was on that episode. Was he on that
I
episode
wasn't.
with us?
I wasn't.
He must not have been.
I thought there was
wasn't.
3 of us.
Well, to be fair, it could have happened yesterday and he would have forgotten it. So
That's also true.
porn games are more than just sex. How did we get here talking about porn games? I understand. So like I said, visual novels, for example, like ACAD, it's a lot more than just the sex. So it's more than just a porn game. I'm assuming the same can be said for the Fate series. I don't know too much about the Fate series.
I've never played a Fate visual novel, but I do know that there are, like, in the original ones, I don't know if it's for the new stuff that's come out, but in the original ones, there were sex scenes in them.
Listen, all I know is, like, I've played hentai flash games before. You know, as a wee lad discovering, like, try this game will make you come in 5 seconds. Like, I've played these. Okay.
You've been on Newgrounds before.
I've been on Newgrounds before.
I was born on new
But-
grounds.
The purpose of me playing these porn games when I was a wee lad was to, like, find a different experience of, like, finding porn to jerk off to.
I want
Right?
to say we do not support wee lads going and finding porn.
Listen, it's gonna happen, man. All of a sudden you turn 13, and all of a sudden there's porn everywhere. Okay.
You guys waited till 13?
I
Please
have no
leave
comment.
it.
Not
Leave
going
it.
into that. Yeah, not
I have
leave
no
it.
comment.
Leave it.
So, I just, like, I'm saying my experience with porn games, at least hentai flash games and stuff like that, whatever, was to jerk off. But is there more to it than just jerking off? Like, there's so much content out there
If
to
it's-
jerk off to nowadays. Okay.
If there's more to it than just the porn, then yeah, like there can be good stories, as Liam has been saying.
There can be,
There
yeah.
can be great music. There can be actual
Liam
fun.
doesn't do things. You don't jerk off to the porn. Liam, you're fucking it all up, man.
That's why we don't trust the Irish. I mean, what?
Play Lust Doll Plus. Listen, buddy, maybe Alex will play it for you. I don't. I'm fine.
I'd never even heard of it, but I would give it a shot in more ways than one.
Jesus.
No, there can be a lot of different types of games, and like some of them have actual gameplay in them, which can be really interesting as well. I've played a couple porn games where there are a lot of text-based generators, and those are really fun because you can get really wild and creative in terms of what you can do in there.
See,
it's really interesting.
So I didn't put this on my list, but I used to play a lot of StarCraft when I was in like middle school, and when I was younger. And I remember there were custom games in StarCraft 1, like in StarCraft Brood War, the expansion, where they had custom games where it was like one of them was called Strip Sakura. So the entire point of this game is to beat it, right? You all get to play characters, and you all have certain roles. Well, the thing was, in the mini map, if you beat the game, it would clear, and you would see like it was basically a porn image of Sakura from Naruto. Yeah, it was called Strip Sakura. So the further along you beat the level, the more the mini map would reveal the lewd image. And as a kid, I liked playing this game not because of the porn.
Sure.
All right.
Sure, buddy.
Because the challenges that were inside of the game were actually really tough, and it was actually really fun. The actual gameplay was actually really fun.
John, I've just got one thing to say to you. No, I've just got one thing to say to you, John. Sakura, a man of your talents?
I gotta say, Little John was like, "Oh, this has porn. Let's go." And then like, hold on, this is actually fun. Let's go. Let's fucking do this.
That's exactly what happened.
Little John locked in.
I came for the porn, and then I stayed for the gameplay because I was like, "Oh my god, that was more exciting." So I can understand that aspect if the gameplay is that exciting and riveting, because I was locked in.
He came for the porn, and he really came for the gameplay. Oh god. Oh
so,
shit.
Man, I miss StarCraft. I don't think people like understand how big StarCraft was in my life growing up playing it. Like I played it all the time. RTSs in general.
Yeah.
Koreans remember.
The Koreans remember. They still play StarCraft. Yeah. I don't play StarCraft anymore. But oh my god. When was the last time you guys watched like a game trailer that made you so fucking hype that you just started like fucking cheering, like jumped up from your seat and started just actually like fucking cheering?
Halo 3.
Okay.
You remember that? The one where the finish the fight?
Yes.
So good.
That's the entire advertisement campaigns for Halo 3 was god tier. We talked about that in a previous WTF, I believe.
Yeah.
The Believe
you talked about that specifically because you were like randomly recommended it on YouTube.
Yeah, and I was just like,
you're like,
it
this
was
is
so good.
So good.
I miss that. But like StarCraft, for me, StarCraft 1 and Brood War were amazing franchise because it had so much inside of this $20 game. It was $20 when I bought it in middle school for my copy of Brood War and StarCraft. And it's like it has a solid campaign. It has PvP in it, and then it also has custom games. In custom games, there were things like Strip Poker. There were things like Cannon Defense games, Evolution, Space Marine, Phantom.
Poker, you say?
Yeah, Strip Poker. There's actual like poker defense. There's so many types of games inside of here because people got so creative with it. And I remember when they announced StarCraft 2, I was so hyped. I played through Wings of Liberty, Heart of the Swarm, and then my absolute favorite fucking game trailer. When they released Legacy of the Void, the trailer for Legacy of the Void, I got so fucking hyped, bro, because I'm a Brotoss 100%. Like, you must construct additional pylons.
Pylons.
Okay?
Pylons.
I
The YouTube remix.
I love playing Protoss. So Legacy of the Void was my most anticipated campaign, and the video itself is so fucking hype because you have like, I don't think it's Zeratul talking. I think it's oh my god, what's his name? He's the other guy. He's the counterpart to Zeratul. Oh my god, I should know this.
For a second, I thought you were asking your
Tassadar.
wife. It's like, how is she gonna
No,
know?
it's I think it's Tassadar that's speaking, or it might have been Phoenix. I don't remember which of the StarCraft heroes it is that's speaking during the campaign, during the trailer, but it's like, it's so hype, bro. Where it's like, they're at the end of their rope, and there's like one little zealot left, and it's like a huge wave of Zergs come in, and it's just like, the only thing that we have left is our legacy, and then a pylon finally finishes warping in, and then like all the fucking Protoss warp in. I'm like, yo, let's go!
The amount of hype.
Dude, I was so hyped. To this day, I watch that trailer because I'm just like, this gets me so hyped. I love this so much.
So probably the last trailer that had me going like that. Most recent one was Star Wars Outlaws. I saw it and I'm like, yo, let's fucking go. It looks so cool.
That's so surprising
And you
because
know what?
the only thing I knew about Outlaws was people were pissed off about it. Like, that's all I knew
Bro,
about it.
it's the grifters. It's the fucking
was the
grifters.
grifters?
I swear
Okay.
to God. No, you actually play it. It's actually a fun, solid game. Better than like most Ubisoft games.
To be fair, there are
grifters
legitimate
that are
bugs
rage
in the
baiting.
game.
No, there are. I will absolutely 100% agree and will say, yes, there are bugs. There are certain problems. But it is a solid fucking game. Like, it is fun as shit. Like, the grifters are... It's the latest talking point, and the grifters are on it. That's literally why it's gotten so much attention.
Really,
Like,
the
it's a
latest
good
talking
game.
point is Space Marine 2.
Yeah, I mean, it literally came out like 2-3 weeks later, and like
Better than
everyone
most
turned to
Ubisoft
that.
games isn't a high bar. Bro, don't
That's
you
true.
like
No, it's
not.
Siege? Aren't you a Siege, like, fucking simp? I don't understand.
He was a while ago.
Was. I think he still is. But yeah, like, oh my god. StarCraft. I've been recently thinking about doing a playthrough of StarCraft, like, on stream.
Oh,
Just do
come
a
on.
campaign.
Do it.
Just because, like, it's such a fun campaign. It's super cool. The music for StarCraft 1 is amazing, by the way. I love the music for StarCraft 1. Like, I will always remember the Terran playlist one. There's, like, one song. Valhalla is the
Actually,
goat
he
fighting.
makes a good
Really?
point. Siege is not a new game, so I mean, it's a completely different game than when it first launched, from what I understand. But it's not new.
Right.
Liam, I actually was playing Odyssey when I stopped playing it just because I got sidetracked and like never went back to it. I do intend to finish up Odyssey, then go to Valhalla, then Mirage.
The thing with Assassin's Creed is I don't think anything will ever top who is Desmond for me. Like, it will never top that. Who is Desmond?
I have only played Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. I did not like Assassin's Creed 1. It was very boring.
The first one is kind of
yeah.
boring story-wise.
Assassin's Creed 2 is amazing. A great game. I love it. And then I just never played
Ezio
the rest.
Auditore.
Ezio.
Honestly,
Ezio!
it's a shame because like the rest of the Ezio collection is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like just the
Was it
story alone is
Brotherhood
amazing.
and what's the other one?
Revelations.
Revelations. Thank you.
What about Syndicate? That was one as well.
No,
That's not a Ezio
that's
game.
not Ezio
Oh, you're
collection.
talking about specifically Ezio. I thought we were talking about all the
Yeah.
other like
no.
games.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, Assassin's Creed, I just stopped caring. I think after Black Flag was number 4, right?
The best one.
Yes. Yeah.
I think that's when I really stopped caring about the franchise, honestly. I haven't
Which is
played
fair.
any of the more recent ones, like, so maybe it's gotten better. I don't know.
I just remember Assassin's Creed 3 people didn't like, but Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag everyone loved.
Yeah, I love Black Flag.
It's considered the GOAT.
I mean, story-wise, I don't think it's the best, but gameplay-wise, I do.
Anyway, I miss the old Blizzard before
Yeah.
Don't we all? Don't
before
we
the merger.
Listen,
Before all
I
the
will
crap.
say, I will say, at least Overwatch gave us good porn, man.
I mean, yeah. I honestly think the League porn is way better than Overwatch porn, just me personally, but
Both are good, though.
both are good.
Both are good. Both are good.
Shall we
Why
move
does
on
it,
from
it's always
video
porn?
games?
It's always porn.
Yeah, we always talk about porn. Anyway, Alex, you want to talk about something not about video games or porn for a second?
We've talked about video games for so long. It's almost like the video game WTF. So earlier this week, in fact, yesterday, the 13th, the Grand Tour One for the Road came out on Amazon Prime.
This is like
It
the
is the
final, right?
The final thing that Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond are going to do together.
Oh my god.
They have said that they're not doing any kind of like this kind of stuff together ever again after this because number one, both James May and Jeremy Clarkson are in their 60s now. They're getting too old to do this stuff. But also because it's been 22 years and they feel like it's finally time to just kind of hang it up. I haven't watched the last special yet. I'm kind of afraid to because I know once I do, I'm not going to see anything new about this like this ever again. But from what I have heard from people who have watched it, it's a fitting send-off for the three guys. I grew up watching new Top Gear when it came along in the early 2000s. I absolutely loved it. It's one of the best things that the BBC has ever produced. And I loved watching those three guys, for 13, 14, 15 weeks out of the year just get up to shenanigans in cars. It was great.
Sometimes my brilliant mind frightens me.
It's
Sometimes my genius frightens even myself.
It's one of the things me and the boys love doing. I don't watch it like they have, but like we just put on random Top Gear whatever stuff and like just watch it just because it's so much fun to watch, and like we just talk shit while watching it and like just enjoy it. It's sad to hear that it's actually gone now.
I mean, all good things must come to an end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, they're getting too old to do this stuff. Like when they
Right.
were in their 40s and 50s, it was fine, but two of them are in their 60s now. It happens. People just get too old to keep doing the stuff that they love, but there's going to be a lot of that old Top Gear stuff that I go back to just for shits and giggles.
Now,
they
Alex, how long do you think it'll be before they try to milk that dead horse?
Well, I will say that was actually addressed by Jeremy Clarkson himself. He hopes
really?
that someone does come along to do it again. But he says that you can't do what Top Gear at BBC tried to do when they left. When they got fired, basically. They brought in well-known people to do it because they brought in like Matt LeBlanc and people like that who were also just well-known gearheads who loved cars. And he says, you can't do that with something like this. You have to, because the people that are doing that, like Matt LeBlanc, had their hands in other things while they were trying to do Top Gear, and you can't do it. Top Gear has to be like an all-encompassing thing for you if you're a part of it. So he thinks that automotive journalists should be the ones to take it up the mantle from them, like they all are. All of them are essentially automotive journalists. That's what they started out doing.
And I think that recreating what the trio had is like, it's like with Mythbusters, right?
The three of them work together so well.
It's like with Mythbusters. You can't replace the like chemistry that we're seeing on screen of the people playing against each other, right? With Adam Savage and Jamie, I don't remember his last name.
I just always call him Jamie.
Yeah, Adam and Jamie, like them being on Mythbusters is like the inseparable duo. They may not like each other off screen, but at least on screen, it worked so well. And that's kind of how Top Gear was with all three of them. They worked so well and played off of each other so well that, and on top of their knowledge, it's like it's hard to try to recapture that. You can bring in people who have like knowledge, sure, but can you recreate that chemistry? Because that's what's important. That's what drew people in. It wasn't just like, oh, look at these cars. It was the personalities telling us about these cars.
Yeah. I hate kind of comparing it to like the personality podcast, but that's kind of what it was. They used this background of cars to link everything together.
Well, I was gonna say like,
I
keeping
think
it in
that's what made it
anime
work.
terms, like with Kizuna Ai, her getting replaced like 3 times. Sure, the model stayed the same and they tried to keep the same type of energy, but
It wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same. It just did not feel the same because every person is different. They have They can try to emulate the same type of personality, but how they play it out is going to be completely different.
Yeah.
It's that you can't replace. It's a
And
personal touch.
I think particularly with Keys and I, it was like knowing that it was someone different kind of took away from the magic a little bit. Even if they acted and sounded exactly the same, it kind of took away from that magic. It's like it's not the same person.
This is problematic.
No, this has turned into a difficult situation.
Oh yeah, this has turned into.
Listen, Keys and I walked so that all these other VTubers we have now could run.
Yeah.
Just saying.
If only their production company would stop telling me that, then maybe I might feel bad.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I'm number one. I'm proud of the guys. I know that they're all multimillionaires now because of how successful they've been. So it's not like they're going to be, hard up for money. And all three of them have other stuff that they do outside of this. I know James May has his own gin company that he has now. He makes gin, and it's pretty good. He also owns he co-owns part of like a really historic bar in somewhere in England that's been around for like 500 or 600 years.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah. And Jeremy Clarkson has this another show on Amazon where he runs a farm, and it's really entertaining watching him like do country bumpkin stuff.
That sounds really entertaining. I might watch that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sad that I'm not going to see any more of it, but at the same time, I still have all this old stuff I can go back and watch, and it's still really good.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up. Getting kind of hungry.
I guess. Yeah. Well, I would say I'm hungry, but I had all this stuff to eat earlier.
Not all of us were that prepared.
Yes.
If you guys don't mind, want to talk about Outlaws real quick.
Go ahead.
I do mind. You can't talk about Outlaws.
Well,
We talked about it last time.
Did we?
Yes.
You did talk about it last time, yes.
Yes.
Okay, never mind then.
You talked about it. You're like, it's actually really good. It's not that bad. I understand that you want to keep talking about it because you've been playing it for a month now. But
the thing is, he's like having withdrawals. He's shaking now. He's got to go play it.
Actually, though,
he's been away too long.
Speaking of
a fun time.
Star Wars, I need to go play Survivor.
Jedi Survivor?
Yeah, before my Game Pass runs out.
Yeah.
Bro.
I haven't downloaded it. I haven't even played it.
Oh
Play
my
that on
God.
stream, too.
You
played the first one on stream?
I guess I could stream it.
You played the first one on stream?
It's not like I got anything else to do.
You seem to enjoy the first one a lot.
Yeah. Quite a lot. But no, I think Chinoda was saying that it has porting problems or something.
On PC,
The PC
yes.
port is.
The PC
and they
port
just
has
got a new
issues.
patch, though, and that did fix a lot of things, apparently, including removing Denuvo. So,
That
might be
look
a
on
lot
John's
better now.
face. Ooh. I like the words you're laying down, man.
Listen, I just think Denuvo is a crock of shit.
It is. It 100%
You and many other
is.
people.
Because it is.
Man, if everyone thinks it's shit, it must be shit. Even game
Anyway.
developers think it's shit.
Anyways,
See us out, Alex.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for dropping in to watch us this month. As John mentioned earlier, we have a brand new episode of the Anime Club After Dark podcast coming out on Monday. I hope you check that out as well. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you like what you saw and want to see more, we are really, really close to being able to apply for monetization here on YouTube. All we need is just a few more hours of watch time, so please watch our old stuff if you haven't seen it. It would really, really help us out. You can also check down below where we have links to all the stuff that Anime Club After Dark does. There's also a link to our Discord server down there if you want to ask questions that will get featured here in our WTFs every month. We also have a merch store down there where you can buy Anime Club After Dark merchandise if you want to help us that way. But with all that being said, I have been your host, Alex, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, guys!
good night. Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
I did almost all of that on a single breath. Holy shit.
Good job, Alex.
Ugh. Damn, I'm good. Anyway, bye! Lust all plus. No! Okay, yeah, sure.